Hey, welcome everybody to the Top Livestock Henley Farm Dispersal Sale Catalog Review. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm going to try to slow down a little bit on the front end and go into just a few more details before we get started into the review. We're streaming live tonight on our Facebook Top Livestock page, then also to our YouTube page. If you got a TV and you prefer to watch it on YouTube on the TV, you're more than welcome to do that. This is a time sale. It starts this Friday at 6 p.m. It goes into extended bidding at 6 p.m. on Saturday. And what that means, if you're new to online auctions, in the last 5 minutes, if any lot gets a bid, all lots are extended for 5 minutes. So that extended bidding goes on until there's no bids in the last 5 minutes, and at that time the auction will start closing. If you're new to Top Livestock, if you win the lot at the end of the sale, you'll get an email from Top Livestock with a link to make your payment arrangements. When Taylor gets in here, he'll talk about the transportation efforts that he's made. Definitely want to commend Taylor on doing a great job of putting this group together, and then the documentation that he put together for the buyers to let them bid with confidence on it. He's great pictures, great videos, great descriptions in his catalog lots. So look forward to going through those tonight and talking with them to you. And then on a final note, just want to thank the sponsors on the overlay there that help put this together, the costs behind the background and doing everything. So appreciate them. Shout out to all of them. You can see them there on the screen. So with kind of the housekeeping out of the way, we'll get started. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Taylor Hendley from Hendley Farms. Hey Taylor.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your farm and what you've done and why you're doing the dispersal?
I got into it when I had two kids and they were really young, and I've got three now, fourth on the way, and I work full time. I've got cattle, and it's the kids are getting more active. They're getting older, playing travel sports and whatnot, and it's getting to where I'm starting to miss too much their activities. So trying to be a better dad, be more involved with their stuff, and kind of let my hobbies go. So that's the reason why I'm getting rid of them. So I love raising them, and but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Definitely. And before we went live, I was telling Taylor I'd been through the same thing. I stepped back from Kiko's myself for a while for the kids, and got back in it. So look forward to Taylor taking a step back in when he does. So we have Mr. J.D. Gibson on the right corner up there from Hubbard Hill Kiko's. Lower bottom corner, Mr. Bill Francis from Stony Creek Kiko's out in Oklahoma. Both those folks are in Oklahoma, and you got myself here in Tennessee. So with that said, we'll start off here. Get queued up. It'll take me about 2 or 3 lots to get my fingers here memorized as to what we're doing and where we're going. So got lot 1 here. Lot 1 is HFTX Blue Sally 0246. She is hold on just a second to get here. I told you to say she is a date of birth of 3/8/2024. She's a 2-year-old, first time freshener with twins. Birth weights were 6.5, wean weights were 32, and those were born on 4/5/26. So with this lot, you're getting a complete package: the doe and the kids. Bringing up her pedigree there, you can see Sally is out of TKI Blue Iron, which is an iron horse son out of a Catoosa, which is out of Way Beyond the Blue, and the Blue Sun behind that. And on the bottom, I was interested to see this when I saw it because it was familiar to me. You got RBK Flashy Sally on the bottom, and then it goes back to LRF, which is Dad's herd prefix. and that Phantom 399, which jumped out to me, out of Zion, which goes back to Moose. And L.C. Gremlin was on Dad's farm for many years. I think she died around 11 or 12. Her farm name was Crooked Horn. She was a long-time producer for him. Did a super job. So familiar bottom side there for me, and a great iron horse side, top side. So, Todd, you want to add something to that?
Yeah. So that Marble, I think it was last year whenever I got rid of her, just because of her age. I didn't really want to put, something that with that much age in the sale. But she had a perfect bag. She was a great mom. No issues with her. I really liked her. Whenever these all these does were kidding, I figured it up. In those 3 weeks, most were kidding. I worked like 37 or 73 hours at work. So I was coming home from work, coming out and throwing some feet out there, seeing if any were missing. If one was missing, I'd go check on it. So there was no intervention with any of these does, even with the first timers. All I did, go out, check them, weigh them, tag them. That's all I got. And she's one of the first timers here, and she was just awesome. No issues. Act like she's been doing it for 5 years. Her DNA. So I don't know why, but I missed her and getting her registered. I sent in the DNA and registration probably a month ago. Waiting on that. If for what I know it's right, but for whatever reason DNA comes back wrong or something, I'll fully refund anybody that buys her. Like I said, I know it's right, but just to make you feel better if you feel like bidding on her.
JD.
Yeah, I was gonna. Is it showing live?
No, that's what I'm doing. So let's just hold on. It's going to YouTube, but let me hold up just a minute and make sure it gets to Facebook. We may have to repeat what we just did.
Marley just come in here and say.
Yeah, I just texted somebody to make sure it was.
And I got a text as well, wondering if we were live yet. So
It's fixing to be. Hold on a second here, and we'll.
Can make me do all that talking again?
Yeah, it was just practice. I was wanting to let you know that.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
You did good though.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Start one back. Okay, we going live. I'm gonna play the intro music and do this again, guys. Hold on. Okay. Good evening, everybody. We had a little practice run there while we realized Facebook wasn't live, but so we just got through lot one. We're going to start back up here. Welcome. It's the 2026 Hendley Farm Kiko dispersal sale. Wanted to slow it down just a little bit on the front end. We got a lot of new buyers this year. We've seen a lot of new buyers buying at the first two live sales, and this is a time sale online. And the way that works, it'll start at 6 p.m. on this Friday, and then it'll go to Saturday at 6 p.m. And at 6 p.m. it'll go into extended bidding. What extended bidding means is that in the last 5 minutes of the sale, if there's a bid, all lots extend 5 more minutes, and that goes on until there is no bids in the last 5 minutes, and then the sale starts closing. With Top Livestock, if you win the lot, you'll get an email with a link to settle your bill. Taylor Hendley here in just a minute is going to talk about some of the transportation options he put online for you, and then a little bit more about his farm. Real excited about this sale. I've said it in kind of the dry run. Taylor had put together and has been putting together a really great program probably over the last 4 or 5 years, and I think the buyers out there, the new ones and the established ones, have a great opportunity here to advance their program. So looking forward to the sale and the outcome of it. And with that said, if you have any questions, info@toplivestock.com. That's info@toplivestock.com. That's our email address. We'll answer any questions you got. We can connect you with Taylor if need be. If you've got specific questions, request maybe that you reach out to him. He'll handle them for you and be able to tell anything. But he did do a great job in documentation, so look forward to seeing everything go through on this sale. So start the intros here. Taylor in the left-hand corner, Taylor Hendley.
Hey.
Hey, Taylor. Got Hubbard Hills Kikos, Mr. J.D. Gibson, the top right-hand corner.
Good afternoon.
Got Mr. Bill Francis, Stony Creek Kikos in the bottom left.
Hey, y'all.
And then myself, Andrew Roller, in the bottom right in Tennessee. So we'll get going. Like I said, it'll take me a couple of lots to get really rolling. But, Taylor, why don't you take just a couple of minutes here while I get some stuff set on the back end. Tell us a little bit why you decided to do the herd dispersal, and then what transportation options you do have, and then how soon you'd like to have the lots picked up.
So I got I got my first ones. Started about 7 or 8 years ago when my kids were real young. Had 2, and they're just starting to get the age where they're getting more active and doing their travel sports and more involved. And then now we've got 3, and then a fourth kid on the way. So things are starting to get more busy. And I work full time, and I raise cattle too. And it's starting to take away too much time from the kids and their hobbies, and time to let some of my hobbies and things I enjoy kind of let some of that stuff go, and start supporting them a little better. Let's see, the transportation. So the Cookville sale will be next weekend, and so I'm gonna haul down. If you would, if you get a lot, just text me your name, what lots you got, and how you would like to either pick them up, or if you'd like me to transport them for you. But with the Cookville sale being next weekend, I'm going to come down there, so I'll bring a trailer and I'll haul down any goats that you purchase. Hopefully that makes it convenient for either you're going to be there, or somebody you know is going to be there at that sale that could possibly haul back for you. But if you'd like to pick them up from the farm, I'd like them to be picked up before June. We've got some things going on in June, so I'll be pretty tied up after that.
Okay. Yeah, and I have to say, Bill's a sale host, and the Kiko people really work together to getting goats hauled, and I know they work together here for Taylor if you need some sort of exception or arrangement. I know Taylor will do everything he can, and I know people out there in the Kiko community will probably be willing to do that as well for Taylor. So we'll get you the goat. You just bid on it.
Yep.
So lot one is HFTX Blue Sally. She's a 2-year-old doe, first-time freshener. She's got twins on her. So you're getting a complete package here. You're getting Sally and her kids on her side, so you're getting 3 for the price of 1 here. I'll let Taylor talk about her in just a second. When I looked at this in the catalog, I was for sure familiar with the bottom side of this pedigree. Top side, you got an iron horse son, blue iron out of a Way Beyond the Blue doe Catoosa, and then on the bottom side you got out of the blue. I'm sorry, Way Beyond the Blue on top side and Out of the Blue on the bottom over a Phantom 399 doe, which is, as I said, our LRF is Dad's herd prefix, and that was out of Gremlin, and Gremlin's farm name was Cricket Horn. She was on Dad's farm for a good 10 years and produced a lot of does, a lot of cell quality does for him, and we retained some of those and kept them. So great looking pedigree here. If you look at the pictures, she's definitely got a great udder, great mother and milk bar there, good famachas, good line on her. Taylor, tell us about her.
Yeah, so some of the early on does that I bought, I got from the Red Bud Kikos at RBK, and I loved them. They did really well for me. So I went back and I bought this doe's Dam, and I really liked her. And I went back later and I bought her mom. Her mom, that LRF doe, I got rid of her last year just because of her age. Wasn't going to put her in sale. You know, being at that age, she was 9 years old, and she had a perfect bag on her when I got rid of her, and she was a great doe. You know, this is the first timer. She acted like she'd done it 10 times before. That week, whenever I was kidding, or those 3 weeks I was kidding, I think I averaged 73 hours at work. And so I'm going to work, come home, check, I'll feed them, see if anything's missing. If anything's missing, I'll go out in the woods, find them, tag them, and weigh them. I didn't have time to be putting up in the barn teaching these first timers how to be moms. Nothing. I mean, 100% on their own. Every one of these does and yearlings or first timers, sorry, 100% on their own. So I was really impressed with her. She's done a phenomenal job. Couldn't ask for anything more. Oh, and also on the on her papers, I don't know why, but somehow I missed sending her DNA and paperwork in, but I sent it in about a month ago. So we're still waiting on that. But to anybody that buys her, if for some reason the DNA comes back wrong or anything like that, I'll 100% refund you your money. So I mean, it's not going to come back wrong, but I just want to make that clear for everybody.
Yeah, and just I'll add to that. I mean, a lot of first timers might not understand why you hadn't done that, but a lot of us breed them, see what they produce, and they got to earn the papers. So I would say Taylor was doing the same thing here, make sure she was of paper quality. So don't let that hold you up in any regards. JD?
Yeah, I was just going to kind of say the same thing actually about the paperwork. A lot of times we do the same thing. We let the doe kid out, make sure the kids are good before you waste the time and money. But if you look at that doe, I mean, she's great bag. You know what you're getting. I mean, you see the kids. A little bit on the sire to them kids. He's now in Oklahoma. I think of him so much. Really didn't want to let him go, but Taylor was looking for a buck, and I was pretty sure that he was the buck. So I wouldn't tell you a little bit because a lot of the doe yearlings in this sale is going to be out of that Bruh buck and his dam. Of course, everybody knows Kahuna. E21 is the dam to Bruh. She's still alive on this farm, probably 12 years old. Great udder, one of the best does, and original does we bought 12 years ago. So come from the Sparks. Super doe. So all the kids you see out of Bruh are really good. I like him so well, I decided I'd bring him back to Oklahoma. But and a lot of these lots, as you're going through here, just make sure you look at the videos once this is over, and you'll see he spent some time, and these does are really good, solid does. And you know what you're going to get, right? I mean, they're in production, so some of them's not going to look the best at the time, but you know what you're going to get. And for that, I mean, they look pretty daggone good for being in production with kids that size.
Bill?
You guys have hit on all the parts. Just looking at the video during the commentary and talking about a doe in her working clothes and kids that size, and this is a first timer. I think anyone would be proud to have them on their farm.
Yeah, for sure. Lot two. Lot two is time for Randy to get queued up here. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Found it. Yeah, lot two. Here we go. Lot two. Lot two is date of birth of 1/23/2024. This is RBK OTO Spring. She's a 7-year-old doe, bred to twin weight, birth weight, not listed. Her winning weight was also not listed as 4.526. 126-pound doe. She's here on the bottom. Daughters can be seen in lot 9, 34, and 36. She is CAE and Yoni's negative. Looking at the pedigree for RTO Spring, she is out of CLP Out of the Blue, which is a Blue Sun buck over a Denia Bear doe. The bottom side is TMK Macho's Black Guy, which goes on back to Iron Horse, and then you got RMS Springtime, which rolls back into Sky S408 Sports Cat. Great looking pedigree. Doe's got some spots. I think if you look at the picture and her udder, she's definitely got some good milk production on her. And I think the kids are in the video, and they looked well looked really well. Taylor?
Yeah, so that was one of the does I bought from at RBK originally. And she's one of the does that sold me on that Out of the Blue buck. I bought a handful of does out of the Blue, and I loved them. They've been great. So I'm a huge fan of the Out of the Blue buck. But I mean, she's made a lot of good daughters. I talked to Gene and Nancy Williams a couple years ago there at the Spotlight sale, and they had purchased the daughter of hers at the year before, and they said that was one of their favorite does. So that was good to hear. They're doing good on other farms, and other people are happy with them. She just does it right. And I ended up going back and buying her dam because I liked her so much also. And, she had her up till about 8 years old, and she had a perfect bag whenever she left. And you'll notice if you'll look in the picture video, one side looks a little lopsided. The kids were just hammering that one side. I checked, talked to JD yesterday. He's like, "Hey, check that. Is that doe's bag good?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I'll go check it." And I checked it, and it had evened out. I got pictures if anybody wants to see. But sometimes them kids, they really favor one side, so that's why it kind of looks a little funky there in that picture, I guess.
And you got down here, she had a doe that sold 2022 Spotlight sale. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, for 2,600. Yeah, so definitely a producer there, and it's done well for you. Bill?
Well, those who don't know, I'm a big Blue Sun guy. I've got a son of Blue Sun myself, but and a lot of people do. But some of the notables, of course, Out of the Blue, exclusively blue. I'd like to say Street Smart. But Chris Patrick, he knows what he's doing when he's putting genetics together. So out of the blue, just building that alone, you can almost just stop there on the rest of it. But I like looking at the bottom side. Go down in there, and of course you see RAK Eve, one of the most famous Blue Sun daughters in there. So you got a couple doses of Blue Sun. I had a daughter out of GHK Macho Man, and she died natural causes when she was 12, I think it was. She had twin doublings on her. They were 26 days old, curled up in the bar, and she just went to sleep. But all that to say this, I know that Macho Man brings longevity and nice kids. So you get out of the blue on top, and you got Macho Man, Sports Cat, of course, down there on the bottom. You're going to have good udders, longevity. I think this doe has everything. She's got the building blocks to bring everything you want to the table.
Definitely. JD?
Yeah, the only thing, like he said, I called him the other day and said, check her bag over and make sure it's good, because in the picture it doesn't. He sent me another picture of it, and that bag looks a lot better than, in that picture. And the other thing, a lot of them bags that you see, they don't look. He took them pictures pretty close, so them does are not. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid of that doe. I mean, that's a well-built doe. At the time, it was a little big on that one side, kids pulling on it. I guarantee you, that's going to be a productive doe. You're going to make your money back, because you've already seen money-wise what that doe's selling. That sells. So I mean, that's a doe you're going to make your money on. I mean, 7 years old, she's probably got another 3 years in her, at least producing good kids. So I think that's one you can make your money back pretty quick on.
Definitely. And you can tell, and yeah, me too. When I looked at the picture, you can tell it's really close. But you can tell the other side is supple. It's not hard. And I think there'll be no problem there with it drying back up. Okay. Lot 3. Lot 3, date of birth of 1/16/2019. This is OLF Leslie Ann. She's also a 7-year-old Dolan. Got her birth weights there, and her current weight as of 4/5 was 133 pounds. Deep-bodied, heavy-boned doe, low maintenance. I actually think I saw this doe when she was a doeling down at Gary Richardson's, and I was impressed with her when she was young too. But here this doe before and this lot 3, they've been around. I mean, Taylor's kept them. They're producing. They're doing good. They're kidding. They're raising them, getting them weaned off good. Take that as a really good fact if you're getting in and you're new, that you're not getting something that's old and used and you can't use anymore. These are for sure ones you won't have to wonder how they're going to do on the first time. So I just want to say that there. And then looking at the pedigree, it's original genetics, Gotex 6289 over an exclusively blue daughter at GSK Alexis Blue, which she has produced several good ones for herself. So, Taylor, you want to take it from there?
Yeah. So whenever I bought her, I was at the cream of the crop one year. Excuse me. I had a really poorly designed hay feeder at the time, and just that old muck and stuff was up underneath there, and that was always her spot, her favorite shady spot. She always hung out in there, and she ended up getting mastitis on one side, and I didn't catch it soon enough, and tried to treat it, but she lost that one side. I thought, well, we'll just see what she can do. I don't, what have I got to lose? And surprisingly, she's been raising twins just about every year, just with no issue at all. And you'll see some kids. Excuse me. You'll see some kids out of her that I've sold in the past, and also there's one in the sale that is she's you can see just how nice she is, but she'll raise. This year she had triplets. I'll leave the third one on until about a month old. Then then I'll pull one off just because she is got that one side. But she raises really nice twins for me every year. Just, I mean, no issues. So I've kept her. She's at this age and she's still raising awesome kids, multiples. That one side. If somebody asked me what doe you would flush out of this whole sale, this would be the doe. She's probably one of my favorite does, to be honest. I believe she was a flush doe herself, and I've talked to some other people that have owned some kids out of that same flush, and they've been really pleased. They say the same thing about them.
If you look at the video, wow, she's got two good ones there by her side. They built good. JD?
Yeah, 7-year-old doe. I was thinking the exact same thing. Talked to him a little bit about that. I had a doe, didn't have mastitis, but she had got snake bit on one side. It was a doe I got from Jared Dennison. That doe raised triplets 2 years, or about the same. And actually, I was going to flush that doe. I know her bag was good. Same thing. Whenever they raise them for about 2 or 3 years on one side, they're not going to look the best. But this doe, her build, she reminds me a lot of that Katie doe. I mean, she's just square, good bone, not real big. I just think there's an opportunity for this doe, 7 years old. Some people say no, she had mastitis in it, but I've had does with mastitis. It's long lineage of kids behind that. It's just they get that bacterial infection in there, it gets in there. But personally, I think this is probably a flush doe. I think you can build your herd. You look at these kids in that video, man, I would like to have a whole herd full of them thick kids like that. So I think it's a good doe and an opportunity for somebody.
Agree. Bill?
I definitely agree with JD. This would be a doe I wouldn't be scared to bring home and flush. I've actually gone more the IVF route these days, but looking at her pedigree, you want to go back to the originals. You can't get any more original than 6289. Daryl Bird, he owned Exclusively Blue for a number of years, and he's always pays attention to what he in his breeding program, or pays attention to what he breeds. So, the bottom side's good. Going all the way down, of course, you've got, John Hancock's stuff, but that goes all the way back to Goliath and Keeper's sister, of course, TNT Cody. So I think this is I wouldn't be scared to have her in my herd. I think she's strong doe.
Yep.
Yeah, them kids are impressive. You look at them kids, I mean, you got a special doe when they're raising something like that on one side.
Especially on one side,
so.
Taylor, what are the kids on her side by?
Blue Iron.
Blue Iron, okay.
Yeah, I knew that cross was a home run, and it's why change something that's working, so I've just done that same cross.
Exactly.
Don't blame me.
All right, lot four. Lot four is PBG Hoosiers 2372. Date of birth is 2/27/2023. This is Hoosier Hill Kiko's doe, ATJ Colonel Coleman, which goes back to Hobo, and JFK Pepe, which is at JFK Delilah buck. On the bottom side, you got Web Riptide, which definitely had been performance tested. And then you got Rake Austin Boy rounding the bottom side out with PJM Abbey going into this doe's mother. Great looking pedigree. JD, you want to start us out?
Yeah. So top side of this doe, I mean, double bred Pango. That is lot 4, right? Make sure I'm talking about the right one.
Lot 4 is Hobo topside, Pepe making Coleman. Yep.
Yeah. So that JFK Delilah stuff, I own some of them the 2 JFK does that I had. They were phenomenal. Bill had one. She finally passed away this last year. gave him to her. She's so good that she needed flushed, and I wasn't going to have the time, so he jumped on it. I really like the combination of that cross right there. And like I said, you look at the video, kids are really nice. She's a working doe. I mean, you can tell by her, and I think over time she's going to be something.
Definitely. Taylor?
Yeah, she's a smaller frame doe. Like you said, there's tested genetics through her pedigree here, and she was the dam to one of the bucks that is in this sale. She produced the 28th ranked fecal buck in the 2025 West Virginia buck test. So obviously, if I sent one of her kids to the buck test, it was one I thought was one of the best bucklings out of the crop. So,
Okay. Bill?
Just hitting on the performance, and then I like to look at the bottom side of things. But you've got Webb Ginger in there. How many bucks has she been the dam to that has done top 10, both Maryland, West Virginia? Of course, you've got Riptide right there, but yeah, this would definitely be anything Pat puts together. There's gonna be some performance behind it, or she's not gonna do it. So there'd be no doubt that you're looking for something that's going to either have fast gains or the fecal. This would be the doe to bring that into your herd. The parasite resistance, I guess, for the new timers don't know what I'm talking about with fecal.
Yeah, which is an important thing.
I got one more thing on that. So that Web Riptide, I forgot about this doe. That Web Riptide and that PJM Abbey stuff, that went back to that stuff that Dave Peters bred, that did so good for him. That Abbey, I can't remember if it was Uno or whichever ones did excellent on the buck test. And then Riptide, actually, I had some kids out of Riptide that were really good. I got from Dave Peters, and actually I flushed that doe this last year. That combination right there on that bottom is, it's something. This doe's got the potential to be really, really good. And just like he said, producing that buck that did so good, it doesn't surprise me a bit.
Yeah, that's the Web Riptide. I actually bought a doe that Peters had in the Seika sale that was out of Web Riptide, looking to do the same thing that Taylor's done, increase fecal improvement on the farm, and great opportunity there. So moving on to Lot 5. Lot 5 is HFTX Isaiah's Tough Lady. She is born 11/17/2021. Got 2 kids on her side. Looks really great. She is an Isaiah's Fire daughter, which is Isaiah's Fire's well-known Iron Horse son over a Nick daughter. And on the bottom side, you got that BWP Tufts Love, which is out of Copyrights Tough, and Keepers Molly that I just heard her name mentioned this last weekend at Green Country. Really great doe for the Pineos. Taylor, you want to tell us about her?
Yeah, she was a flush doe. Lot 18 is a flush mate to her, and all the does that I saw with this cross, they were really consistent, really pretty frame, and super strong maternals. These does, like they really want to be. They go off kid in the woods by themselves and really want to be left alone. And you touch their kids, they're real worried about it and get worked up. They're, she just does everything right. There's just no issues with her at all. Nothing I can say I would change about her.
Okay, Bill.
looking at that first picture with her twins, we've talked about these does being in their working clothes. She's so good at what she does. Her working clothes aren't even dirty. You know, look at the size of those kids and the way that doe looks. Those kids are just massive, and she's not losing anything from that. And you know, and I attribute a lot of it, you know, to Isaiah's fire has a lot of background behind him, but then you know the bottom side where you've got copyright Tough. You know, Tough he's done he did wonders for West Penio, and I think when Colton Pritchard bought him, continued on in Colton's farm. You know, the bottom side, you couldn't get a better stack of genetics than you do there. And then when you see the actual picture of the doe and you go to look at the video of the doe and the kids, you know, she's got what you're looking for in a herd. Just the width of those kids and everything too. What's the sire of those kids, Taylor?
Bro.
So JD, tell us all about it.
Huh?
Tell us more about this. The bro kids on the side of this doe here.
They're going to be great.
All right.
No, this doe, I mean, you look at her, you see depth. You look at the kids look great. Some of these yearlings you're going to see is going to sell pretty high. Right here, 3 for 1. So you get 3 does right there for one money's how I look at this. Sometimes, but this right here, I mean, they've already kidded. You know what the doe does. You're going to get longevity out of her. That bottom has been phenomenal for Wes, and that Molly doe was very, very special to him. That's why he flushed her. So I think right here, 3 for 1 money deal. You're not going to go wrong there. Somebody's going to benefit from this lot, I think.
Greatly, yeah. I mean, you look at Penio's program. I mean, that worked for him. It was just, you know, tough overkeeper and classic. You know, great entry for a newcomer to be hands off and build on, and for people that have been in it, great opportunity to get a doe that's, you know, flush quality here. So good deal. We'll move on to lot 6. Lot 6. Queued up here on my side. Lot 6 is DDH Mindy. She's a 4-year-old. Her date of birth is 1/4/2022. Picture over there with kids on her side. Again, these kids sell with the sire of them being Bro, West Virginia 23. Got $20 on her side. Looking at her pedigree, her pedigree is DDH Christopher, which goes back to that Manna buck, and back to the seller, and then Christopher was out of a Speckles 41 boy, which was Rollings Meadow 81 Mr. Speckles' son. And then on the bottom side, you got that Chris Manna again on the top side of the dam, and then GHK Apache. An Iron Horse son rounding out the bottom. Looking at the pictures and videos, 3 for 1 again. Great opportunity. Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, this doe was just covered up in performance. Her sire, Christopher, he placed 3rd in the 2018 Langston Buck Test. And his sire, that Chris Manna, produced a 6th place buck in the 2016 Oklahoma Buck Test. And you've got Chris Manna on the top and the bottom. You know, she's had really good kids. Don't have any worm issues with her at all. And I think I was looking back. I think Dennis had talked about that BSF Athena there on the bottom side. So where he had said before it was a foundation doe for him and his program. I know he runs a tough program, so there to be a foundation doe, you know, that says something to me.
Bill?
Um, we've talked about how rough Taylor raises his does. Um, I bet Dennis Higgins, he raises his does just as tough or not tougher, and especially back when Chris Manna was living. I have to admit, my very first New Zealand doe was a Chris Manna daughter, and not only the ones that Taylor just mentioned, he also was like number 4 in Oklahoma. He had a son in number 4 in Oklahoma, number 3, something like that in 2017. But Chris Manna has put a lot of bucks in top ranking positions in several buck tests around the country. So you have Chris Manna twice in here. I'm just thinking that that's going to be a home run there. And then you put Bro on top of it, or Bruh. How do you say that, JD? But so you've got performance on the bottom. Now you've got these kids on her side that's also got performance on the top. I mean, that's just anyone looking for performance for their dad to their herd. This would be the doe to do it. I'd be confident buying any doe that came from Dennis, and certainly any doe that Taylor thought worthy to put into his herd.
JD.
I was just looking at that Christopher buck. Now I know why he's so good. No, that Speckles boy. So that Marcy doe I always talk about was out of that BWP. That Speckles boy. I tried to buy that buck from the RLF people. I can't remember his name, but I tried for a long time. That Chris Manna stuff's tough, and Dennis, he talks about that. I just seen that RLF Ginger. Actually, I think I tried to buy that doe from Dennis too, just because I know how good that stuff is. And I mean, these kids, you look at the kids, you know what you're going to get. You got a good bag. I mean, them kids are thick, and that's the difference in this sale versus a lot of them other sales. You get to see what you're going to get out of these kids. So, I mean, that's a plus that you're not going to get in a lot of other sales. Great lot there, I think. Yes. Lots of chance for performance also.
Lot 7. Date of birth is 1/18/2024. This is WDK Caroline. Caroline's a 2-year-old doe. She got twins on her, or single. Taylor, I can't.
She's got a single. Yep.
Yeah, single buckling. Yeah, single buckling. Sired by TKI Blues Iron. Looking at this doe, I'll get to the pedigree here for you so you can see it. This doe is out of TNTY 409 TBR Resistol, which goes back to Gal Browser, which strong performance there, proven track record. You got the EHL pots. It really interests me. I got some semen that backs up to him real close. I'd like to try. Then on the bottom side, again, here you got the BWP Tufts Royal Blend out of Copyright Tough over Keepers 3665. And if you've watched any of these catalog reviews, that was what Wes thinks is his overall all-time great doe was 365. And then you got Raising Cane on the bottom side, round that out in the Hershey doe. You got double bred Gal Browser here and Copyright Tough. Not double bred, but you got Gal Browser on top and Copyright Tough on the bottom. It's to me lined up really, really good. JD?
Yeah, I really like the pedigree and the doe on this one. Resistol, that 409 buck. I saw that 409 buck. Really good buck. And that Royal Blend at the bottom, that's going to be a buck I think you're going to see quite a bit here in the future. He's old. They just got him collected last year. I got some of them straws, but that stuff's going to be tough. Hogan, he lived there probably a long buck that he had. So if it lives there a long time, that buck's tough. So I had to make sure and get some on that stuff. So I think this is another good lot. I mean, you got Hogan, and then you got the tested stuff on the top out of the Resistol.
Tyler, you want to tell us on this?
Yeah, I talked to Joseph Netter a while back, and He said this doe's dam, that MVH L855, was one of the best built does he's ever seen. And Joseph has a really good eye. We kind of like similar stuff, I think. A lot of stuff he likes, I agree. So that carries a lot of weight coming from him. And he said that TNT Y409 was an easy fleshing, low maintenance, well balanced buck that passed it down to his offspring. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think that BWP 365 girl was Joseph's favorite Kiko doe. I don't want to speak for him, so I'm pretty sure he said that before, but that's also the dam to the BW Old Kansas and Pepe's Maverick, and I believe is that the dam to Royal, yeah, and the Royal Blend. So that Keeper's 365 girl, that's a hammer right there.
I think you could say that Keeper's 365 girl, and there'd be a crowd show up. I think that's a favorite for a lot of people. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Bill,
I'm pretty sure that I've heard Joseph talk about 365 a time or two myself. I also had the chance to see that Y409 buck. He's a good looking buck. He lived out at the Cowboy Ranch, Cooper Sherrills, for a while, and I got to see him in transport out there. So he's a pretty good looking buck. Mike Hogan. We started out this evening talking about, well, I haven't got my registration back because I want to see how she's done, but I'm going to get it back. Mike Hogan's one of those guys. If he's going to put papers on it, that's going to be a really tough doe. So anytime you see MVH, Mike Hogan doe, it's going to be a tough doe. And I know it's Mike and Vanessa Hogan, but it should be for muscle, vigor, and hardy. If you're looking for something in a doe, muscle, vigor, or hardy, you're going to get it from a Mike Hogan doe. So that whole bottom side, you just can't beat it. And then you throw the 409 with that, being a resistol son. This is going to be a pretty tough doe.
yeah, for sure. Lot 8. Lot 8 is Prodigy's 8532 girl. Her sire is Keeper's Prodigy 118, which is a Keeper son over a Wild Bill daughter. And then on the bottom side, you got Rambling Girl, which is out of LFK Rambling's Blue, and a JDR KMG Marksman rounding out that pedigree. She sails with 1 buck and 2 does on her side, sired by Bruh, West Virginia 23. Her current weight is 113 as of 4/5/26, and with her having kids on her and looking, which I've noticed and Bill mentioned it, if you look at these does throughout, they're fleshed out, they're workers. They can, you can tell by the growth on the kids, they can produce the milk they need, give it from their body, and still maintain flesh. That is something you want. So, Lot 8, Prodigy Girl, 832. JD?
Yeah, as I mentioned, you kind of look at that, you see them cysts on that teat. He called me, asked me. I was like, man, I don't know. I really had never seen that before. He talked to some people, and I'll let him explain a little bit. But that Ramblin' Blues over that JDR B5, I had B5. She was 13 years old. Probably, perfect bag for 13 years old. That line has worked really good. Ramblin' Blues over that JDR stuff like that. 2 Dolings on there. I think they're going to be great. That cross will work. You got Prodigy, you got Ramblin' Blues, and then you got Kahuna. That's kind of what we built our herd on. So I think them 2 Dolings, if not, if you're a little scared of that udder, which I'm not so much of it now since he talked to a lot of people and it looks better. I think it's going to be that bottom side is just super, super strong. And then like Prodigy, we lost him, they got in a fight and they broke his neck. He died way too early. He was a big, nice buck, good bone, tested well on growth, especially in tests. Yeah, the number one ADG buck in West Virginia. That's the one that what's his name in Texas has right now. I'm drawing a blank, but I think there's good opportunity there, especially them does. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid of that doe either. I think she'll dry up, find them cysts will go away.
Yeah. Bill?
Um, I'm not sure I could add anything since the man who made her just spoke. You know, I've seen a lot of prodigy daughters come through the sales. You know, different sales, not just one sale or the other sale, and then seeing, you know, Rambling Blues daughters all over the place, and you know when he had him, and then Brad Beeson owned him for a while. Both, you know, both of them great producers you see for multiple farms. So I don't know what you can add to what JD's already done. JD's pretty particular on the genetics he puts on his farm, and this girl's got it.
Definitely. Taylor, anything you want to add there on those?
Yeah. I mean, I talked to quite a few people about those cysts there on her teats, and they said, you know, it could have been last year. She had a kid with sharp teeth, was gnawing on her, and or they call them milk cysts or block ducts possibly, but nobody seemed concerned. They said she's obviously not bothering her. You know, obviously tell what the kids that she's raising. Um, you know, it's not causing any issues at all. Like I said, I called JD. Is like, hey, have you notice anything genetic wise, like in her dam or on the bottom side or prodigy? He was like, no, I've never seen it. So I don't think it's a genetic thing. I think it's like trauma. Everybody I talked to said the same thing. So, but anyways, like them prodigy does I've had, they've been real efficient and they just pour everything into their kids. Um, so, but JD know more about this pedigree and stuff than I would. He's obviously more familiar with it.
Great opportunity here for sure. Lot 9. Lot 9 is HFTX Blue Spring. Her date of birth is 2/26/2024. She's selling with twin does sired by Gotbro, West Virginia 23. Looking at her pedigree, you got the TKI Blue Iron there that we've talked about. Iron Horse Son, bottom out of the blue over Macho's Black Guy. I think Taylor had mentioned it. It worked for him good. It was a good cross, and I think we've seen it here again. So, Taylor, you want to say anything?
Yeah, like her dam is lot 2. Obviously, I think a lot of her dam, um, and that cross has worked before. Every one of these first timers, they did it perfect, no issues. Um, and um, she, when you're buying livestock of any kind, I think the most valuable animal you're going to buy is a young female that has kids on her side. She's been there, she's done that. You can see the offspring she's producing. Um, she's going to breed. She's been through the process. So I feel a lot more confident buying a mature doe that's been there, done that, has good kids, than anything.
Agree. JD?
Now, as you can tell, he's went through and culled the stuff that ain't producing and stuff like that. You really need to go back and watch the video on this of them dolings. Man, really, really nice, especially in this. I mean, it goes to the mom, right? I mean, for sure, because, she raised a good set of kids there. Great udder. It's another one of them deals you can make your money back quick. I mean, you got 2 dolings and a doe producing. You let them dolings get old, they sell for $1,500, $2,000. That's $4,000 plus. I mean, then you got the doe with a great udder. I mean, you can see it in that picture. I just think that's a package deal that anybody will looking to build their herd. I mean, that these are the does that produce. You can make your money back on these does, and these doelings look phenomenal when you go back and look at the video. Very feminine looking. Very excited. You know, I watch these videos of there, and I'm like, man, I'm glad I brought that buck back to Oklahoma. I mean, he's going to get a lot this year. I'm just super excited from seeing these, and somebody else is probably going to get more bruh kids than I am. Whoever's watching these sales because he used it for 2 years, and good opportunity right here at this lot, I think.
Yep, Bill.
Well, like you said, we've already talked about the top and we've talked about the bottom in number 2. So all we can really do is talk about Taylor's management. Like he had said earlier, he's gone 60, 70 hours a week. And Taylor, when his boss isn't around, he'll call me from work from time to time. And his goats have to be pretty tough because he doesn't tolerate any weakness. He gets them off the farm pretty quick one way or the other. So for this doe to look like that, and knowing the amount of hours he's putting in at work, and then of course his family time, this is a tough doe coming out of the gate, and then she's already got a set of kids on her that's proven. I wouldn't. Well, I've got a Taylor Hendley doe, so I mean, I have no doubt this doe wouldn't be just as tough.
Definitely. Lot 10. Lot 10 is date of birth 1/10/2022. This is HFTX Warheads Anna. She's a 4-year-old. She's selling with Gotbro, West Virginia 23, twin bucklings on her side. Looking at the pedigree here, RHK Warhead is a war son over a black ice BHR. Familiar with that dam there out of Oreo. That was a doe that Dad had until she passed of old age around 12. I've got a doeling out of her, a Sienna doeling. Was the first timer last year, and I've kept her. So that's a strong bottom side there with the Zion. And if you look back on Zion, he goes back to Moose one more step back off that pedigree. Bottom side is Terminator 3. And then RBK Snowdrop, which is out of Fiddling. Let's go back to Cherokee Fiddler. A strong pedigree here. We know Warsaw produced Sonny Boy, and the performance testing that all his offspring had went through Outlaw. So some great genetics here. Taylor?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the McGills use like Terminator 3 for parasite resistance. I think that Terminator really helps you there. Then that Warhead, her sire, I noticed with all his kids, they were extremely vigorous and from birth. I mean, probably the most vigorous kids I've ever seen. Right when they were born. Just one thing I've noticed about him. But that, and then at the bottom, the Snowdrop line, I really liked. That Snowdrop and Turf Snow 2, they both were really good does for me for a long time. Produced a lot of nice kids. Let's see. I would probably I was going to breed her. I'd breed her to a more compact buck. She's a little taller, lankier than what I would say would be ideal for me. So, but whenever you put a smaller, compact buck on her, the kids turn out really nice. I know I'm not a good salesman. I'll tell you good, bad, and ugly, but it is what it is. But yeah, she's made some really nice kids for me. She's done great. I've had her around this long, and her dam, I took one of her dam's kids last year to the MPI, and she brought 3,200. So she was obviously a really nice doe. So you can get a lot of good stuff out of that bottom side for sure.
Bill, excuse me.
Well, Taylor, wants to talk about the good, the bad, and ugly. She might be a little bit looks like she might be a little bit tall, but if you look at that top line, it's nice and straight. She's looks like she's got good depth to her, good front end, back end. Looks like she's giving a little bit to her kids. Of course, she's got her work clothes on, but it looks like she's still got a good spring of rib that's going to give you that good childbearing capacity. You know, where she's got it all. But even with that, she still has the femininity that you're looking for on the front. You know, up top, nice neck and all that. So I think she's a really well built doe. And like Taylor said, you put her with the right buck, your offspring's definitely going to be full of that. And then with him having GOT bra, those kids are already got it. So I'd be pretty confident having this doe in there. She might be a little tall, you know, to Taylor, but there's nothing wrong with that doe at all.
JD?
No, I mean, I don't. The depth makes up for the tallness on that doe. When you look at that doe, I mean, man, that's impressive depth there. Look at that udder. I mean, that's a deep doe. That looks like a West Pinio big doe. You know, got the feminine looking head. Look at the kids behind her. I mean, them things are meat wagons, so you know she's gonna produce that. So I know she's a little taller, but it's kind of unlimited when you put that doe. I don't think she's too tall. I mean, Blue Sun Terminator in there too. She's gonna be tough. I like the doe. I can see why our kids sold for $3,200. Honestly, I mean, that's a nice looking doe. That's a big, deep doe.
It definitely is. Moving on to lot 11. Lot 11 is RHK Golden Honey. She's a 2-year-old, date of birth 1/31/2024. She sells with a buck and a doe on her side by TKI Blues Iron. If you look at her pedigree, you got strike gold, which goes back to black gold, and Rojo Vasti out of Rojo Grande. And then on the dam side out of Honey, you got Spitfire, which is a Rusty Sun over Pango, and then Sundance Kid over a Chocolate Chip Outlaw Doe to round out Golden Honey's pedigree. Taylor, you want to tell her about us?
Yeah, so that's Strike Gold daughter. I saw Strike Gold down at Brian Gray's place, and he was just super meaty, thick buck. I'm a really big fan of him. You know, he's produced a lot of really nice sons and daughters. You know, I think most people are familiar with him for sure. You got the Strike Gold over Flower Child, which is a similar breeding to Lot 13. That doe has been really good for me. So when this doe came up, you know, that's really similar breeding. I bought her. You know, if it works, do it again. So that's Strike. And then whenever I cross Blue Iron on Strike Gold, man, I just love them. So.
Oh, definitely. And looking back at that bottom side, it goes back to HK A59, which we know what she's produced and done in the industry. Bill?
Well, Taylor brought up Brian Graves, so people that's been around for a few years, they know that Strike Gold and Spitfire were both his two, I guess you'd say, corner post sires, and here they are in one pedigree. You go back far enough, you're going to see Rusty on the top, Rusty on the bottom. Of course, you got Pango. I think we'll be talking about Bingo here in a little while, but you've got Bingo down there. Of course, the Sundance Kid from Steve Simmons up in Kansas. Cross that over any of the Lake Fork stuff. You know, on paper, it looks like it's going to be a home run. And looking at the pictures of the doe and her kids, for me, it seemed like she might be a little bit finer bone in the leg, but if you cut her legs off and just look at her body type, you know, it's another one of those big, deep, deep chested, straight back, wide bodied does. So I think you put her over the right buck, she'll bring something to the table for sure.
Definitely. JD?
Yeah, I haven't had much of that top bloodline, but I do know whenever I looked the video on that, man, the kids look good there. I know Taylor's had really good luck with that cross on that bloodline, so I just personally hadn't had that much of that bloodline, but after looking at the video with them kids, I mean, I might be missing out on something because them kids look really, really good. And that some of that stuff I've seen out of that, the kids have been phenomenal out of that bloodline. So I just haven't had much of it, but he says it works, so I trust him.
Definitely. Lot 12. Lot 12 is RHK Stripes Fire. She's a 5-year-old. Date of birth 1/10/2021. She sells with 2 does and a buckling on her side. Sired by Gotbra, West Virginia 23. Looking at her pedigree. Definitely strike gold here again, going back to gold mine that we just talked about in Rojo Grande, and then RDH Donahue is Isaiah's Fire, which is Iron Horse and Rojo Grande. Pretty stout pedigree here. Taylor?
Yeah, I got these 3 strike daughters here bunched up together. But yeah, she produces some of the best winning weights when it comes to any time. Pounds wise, she's a bigger doe, but she produces heavy kids, usually twins or triplets. Uh, I don't know what else to say, but I mean, other than she's a good one, and that blue iron over strike gold, it's a hit. So it works.
Her current weight was 137, so she's got triplets and weighing 137. She's a big doe. Bill?
Looking at the bottom side, of course, the Reeses owned Isaiah's Fire for a number of years, and anyone that's followed the Reeses anytime at all know that they don't have a small goat on their place. So that doesn't shock me at all that, what'd you say, she's 137 pounds with triplets, should be a good healthy doe. And I'm like JD, I've never had strike gold genetics really, but looking, seeing some of the stuff Brian brought to sales in years past, I mean, they were all nice, big, healthy does. And so knowing what he's got on the top when you've got Gold Mine and Rio Grande, and then on the bottom, of course, Isaiah's Fire, and you can almost just stop there, but Iron Horse over Nick Daughter, and then you've got Rusty again. And I am familiar a little bit with the Absher Farms. They're down in Florida. I had a doe that's out of that Conquistador. Sorry, Oklahoma accent. I can't pronounce all this stuff, but I have no doubt that, she's a big doe, going to have a big offspring, and they look right. They're going to be well balanced and fast growers, and I wouldn't be scared to have them on my place.
And you can see, what she produces as yearlings, lots 22 and 31. So she made some really nice kids.
That's important to point to remember, Taylor, definitely. I mean, you can see what she's produced, so you know what she's going to do when you get her home. You got something to definitely go off of there. JD, anything to round out that lot 12?
No, I kind of was going to say the same thing about that. Look at them other lots. You'll see what she produces, plus the does and the deal. Like I said, I can't stress enough for these people what listening here are going to go back and listen to look at them videos he put on there, because I mean you will be impressed with the kids. And like I said, that though, I mean, honestly, looking at it, maybe a little bit bigger udder you're going to think, but you got to look at what that thing's produced, right? that's a long lineage of good goats that he's selling as yearlings. So I just think it's going to be, if anything, I mean, then you take them dolings home and you're going to make something out of them. So no, I think it's a good solid lot there, just because you can see what she's produced in the past.
Yep. Lot 13. Lot 13 is RHK Strike's Flower Girl. She's a 5-year-old. Taylor just told you he grouped these together so we could talk about them together. Her date of birth is 3/9/2021. She sells with TKI Blue Iron, 2 buckling kids at the side. I'm sorry, Taylor. I'm just reading that last line. 1 missing at time of working. That sounds like my place.
Yep, I still can't find him, so he must be gone.
Yeah, he's so. But yeah, so she's raising twins. If you look at that picture, I mean, wow. Size of her and her weight, 154 pounds. I mean, and you look at the size of that buckling by her side. That's impressive. Yeah. So again, looking at this pedigree, we just talked about the top side strike gold, gold mine, black gold goes back to gold mine 2, and then Sundance Kid that we just talked about, and the chocolate chip dough. If you look at the pictures and the videos, still great teats. Definitely got the milk factory going, and good from Asha with kids on her side. Taylor.
Yeah, this is doe. Maybe go buy that doe a couple lots before, because I liked her so much. She raises, I mean, some of my biggest kids. Just a lot of growth there, and they look good too. And I decided to put one of her kids on test last year, and sent him to Florida, and he ranked number 14th overall down at Florida, which he is also in this sale later on, lot 20, or I don't know, I can't remember what lot he is, but he's one of the yearling bucks in this sale. So I mean, you've got performance data there too, not just the looks.
Definitely got the looks and the test. Back it up, Bill.
Yeah, like I say, we've already talked about the top side and the bottom sides. Still have the Lake Fork genetics in there. Of course, Outlaw over A59. That was a wonderful cross for Craig Stimmy, and full of performance there. I guess my only question: where do you think she got her color from? Strike Gold or Outlaw? She'd be a carbon copy of either one of them.
Yeah, definitely Strike Gold. Almost a picture of him, that black, kind of blacker front end. Lot 14. Lot 14 is Got Rio's Girl 1254. She's a 2-year-old. The date of birth is 2/3/2024. She was purchased at the 2025 BPI sale where she stood out as well, put together yearling. She is selling with twin bucklings out of TKI Blue Iron. Looking at her pedigree, we got the TMK Rio, which is a hammer son over Copyright Austin's Boy. And then the bottom side is Kahuna, which is hammer again, double hammer bred over a Speckles Ace bred doling. JD, roll us off here.
All right, GOT Lightning's Jenna. She was one of the best. You look, I always talk about a lot of the bucks I have in my herd, bucks and does I have is that out of that Marcy. So you got Marcy, Jenna. Lakin she's possibly going to be a legend. That doe is very, very nice. Lining up hammer like that, if that's the best thing, but I think that doe, you look at her, maybe a little bit smaller, but I think 3 or 4, that's going to be a special doe right there. So I was really, really excited to, I think I sold that doe maybe at the BPI, if I remember right.
Yep.
But that that Lakin's a special doe. I expect this to be a really good doe, honestly.
She's not that small. 118 pounds is, to me, a good working weight.
That Rio stuff's tough. I mean, it's tested. I got a Rio buck up here that was, I don't know, he's top 10 in the Mississippi buck test, and it's more of the older style bloodline. You know, Kahuna's kind of shorter, thicker. The Rio was more, a little bit bigger, tougher looking type of buck, but he never was my favorite looking buck, but the kids were really, really good and really, really tough. So,
Taylor?
Yeah, you know, like what JD said, had that in the notes. I talked to him at the BPI about this doe. You know, whenever I go to sales, I'll run through the pins, and I won't even look at the catalogs, look at the pedigrees. I look through them. The ones that stand out, I put a check. The ones I don't like, put an X. Then I come back and I look through the pedigrees, and she was one that really stood out. It's just being really well built, really pretty doe. Of course, she's a 2-year-old first timer. She pulled down a little bit here raising them kids, but put some flesh back on her. She looks awesome. I was looking at the pedigree there at the BPI, and I saw, you know, that Marcy, that Jenna, Lakin, super heavy hitters for JD. I really want to take her home and ended up with her. She did everything right as a first timer. You know, I don't know what more you could ask for. A young doe with nice kids on her, proven to do it right. Good pedigree behind her. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what else you could ask for, really.
Bill?
You know, not talking about the doe, but talk about JD for a minute. When looking at the age of this doe, when she was born, he probably still had a herd of 200 adult does or more. So for a doe to get a pedigree, to get registered on his farm at that time, you know that doe was special. I have been at the stockyards or local stockyards where it took him three round trips with stock trailers taking all his terminal kids to market, and that was boys and girls, males and females. So just because it's female, he wouldn't register. So to know that he had the choices available at that time that he registered this one, you know that this was a standout girl. So I bet you she's going to be tough as nails. You bring her home to your farm too.
yeah, I really wouldn't mind having that one back.
All you got to do is bid, JD.
Yeah, bid.
Yeah, that can happen too.
We won't tell.
I'm telling you, that lineage of does right there, I'm telling you, I would put that whole lineage right there against anybody in the breed. And I'm not just saying that. That's just been a proven one down that deal. And that Lakin doe is a producer. So I think with her over Rio like that, you're going to have some tough stuff. And you can look at the kids in the video. I mean, they're good. She's young, a lot of life left there. So somebody, I better grab her. I might on her.
Okay, lot 15. If I'm keeping my stuff straight here. Lot 15 is DDH Amala. She's a 4-year-old, 2/3/2022. She sells with a doe and a buck kid on her side, sired by Bra, West Virginia 23. One of her yearling daughters can be seen in lot 26. Looking at her pedigree, again, you got TBR Resistol, which we talked about a little bit earlier, and then that bottom side Speckles 41 boy over a Apache Lover boy, TMK Bouncer, RLF Jenna. Great looking pedigree here. Great opportunity. Taylor?
Yeah, this is one of Dennis's does that I bought. You know, if you know Dennis, you know, performance is huge. It's packed with performance pedigree, you know, performance names all through her pedigree. You know, Resistol, he needs no introduction. She's got that typical resist all daughter build. I think she's really pretty. Really like her a lot.
Bill?
Nothing really to add to the pedigree. We've talked about a lot of them. Resist all. You've got Mr. Speckles, and then Speckles Boy, Bouncer, Jenna down at the bottom. A lot of Kent Perkins stuff way down there. So again, we look at the doe. Look at the body type, and Taylor just said it a minute ago. He goes through with the catalog and put an X on the does he don't like and the checks on the does he does. And then he goes back and looks at the pedigree. And I think that if you're looking at that, everyone should take notes on that. So again, you look at the body of that doe. I mean, what more could you ask for? Nice, deep, long. She looks like she's got good length from tail to shoulder. Still has that nice neck on her, but a feminine head. But looks like she's pretty stocky build. And when you watch that video, you'll see the kids are just like it. They're little. They're going to be little meat wagons.
Yeah, definitely. JD?
Honestly, this is one of them I'd buy. I don't remember. Is this one you got from me at the Oklahoma sale?
You did buy her once, and then she about killed me.
That's what I was
I pulled
thinking.
it
I
out.
did buy that goat, and then somebody talked me into buying it from me. I might have
Yeah.
messed up on that, but there's a reason I was going to buy that doe. That Speckles Boy in there, that RLF stuff. That if you look at that, that's Marshy stuff. Super productive, close up, and you got doe, and then is there two doelings with this one?
One doe and one buck, kid.
Single. Okay, single. So
No, you got a doe and buck.
okay, so I mean, this is one. I mean, we talk about which ones we'd like, stuff like that on there. But anybody listening or going back and listening, this is lot 15 is going to be one of them. You need to mark on your calendar because, like I said, I bought her once and I wished I wouldn't have sold her. He talked me into it. So he's like, "You got way too many does. I need some does." I said, "I'll let him have it, but it might not. That might not happen twice." So really, really good doe. I think it's one I'd mark on my catalog.
Sure. Lot 16. Lot 16 is a Got Prodigy's Girl 926. She's a 3-year-old, date of birth 2/15/2023. She sells with 2 bucklings and a doe on her side by Got Bra, West Virginia 23. She's at current weight 114 pounds. Looking at the pedigree, you got Keeper's Prodigy 118 on top, which is Keeper over Wild Bill. Then on the bottom side, you got JDR, Maryland's Ultimate Warrior, which was out of Big Sam, and we've talked a lot during the catalog reads about what performance. I think he was number 1 off of Maryland. I think was that right, JD? That Warrior buck.
Yes,
Yeah,
he was.
I think he was, and then
That was that. I was going to say that was that Maryland test in 16, the last one where that was a rough test for those guys. So to be number 1 on that particular test, that's saying something.
Yeah, for sure. They almost shut it down, didn't they? I mean, I know it's brutal.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
Yeah, because it was so brutal. But yeah, you again looking at the pedigree. What stands out to me, you got Keeper over Wild Bill, and Wild Bill goes Terminator 2. You got Parasites there. You got definitely the Ultimate Warrior, who was tested, and Vico was definitely a factor in making it through that test. And Marksman, a great opportunity here to produce some stuff in your herd. Taylor, you want to start us?
Yeah, I was really going to let JD kind of tell us.
Well, yeah, I guess
about her pedigree,
yeah. Go ahead, JD. I forgot the got.
Yeah, as you can see, she's doing a good job raising kids. I mean, you watch the video. She's built just about like her dam. That I know that dam for some reason it says F011, but it's for some reason H11 is what I have on the tag here. That doe's still in the herd. I bought it years and years ago. That doe's tough as nails. That's why I was looking down there, that FOO11. Um, and that B5 doe, that was the one 13-year-old doe, and I was pretty excited to get that doe. And then them kids were actually, she had kids on her, and man, that's been years ago. I mean, probably at least 10 years ago whenever I bought that doe, and that kids turn out good. So longevity's there. Very, very productive doe on that bottom side. That F11, like I said, she's still out there in the farm. I think I posted some pictures of her last year on Facebook, just showing, and she's nice. That's all there is to it. She's still alive on the farm, so she's a good one.
Well, you top that out with the 2 bucks and a doe on her side that are out of Bra, West Virginia 23. So that's definitely performance packed through. Bill?
I don't think I could add anything to that. That's talking about performance. That's the doe you want. If you're looking for a performance herd, I'd have her in my foundation on it.
Yeah.
Yep. Taylor, I want to add anything on it special to you?
Yeah. I mean, she's just been perfect. You know, turn her out there and she does her thing and raises good kids. Puts a lot into her kids. Does a great job. I mean, no complaints with her.
Good deal. Lot 17. Lot 17 is BWP Speckles 436 girl, 2-year-old, date of birth 2/16/2024. She sells with twin Dolans on her side out of TKI Blue Iron. Her current weight's 107. Looking at the pedigree, see, this is a Mr. Speckles daughter over a Wild Bill daughter, CKR winner, which goes back to that Keeper's Molly that we talked about a little bit earlier. Great pedigree here. Taylor, how's she done for you?
No, she is awesome. Perfect mom. I bought her. Let's see, what was it? I think it was West Pinio's sale. I bought her online, and I was like, "Dang, I was watching online. I wasn't planning on buying anything. I was like, she's beautiful, and I was like, dang, that's a Speckles daughter over Wild Bill. Like, why ain't she going for more? I was like, well, bid on. Well, started texting people, what's wrong with her? Why did I screw up? And they're like, she's crazy. So I got her home. I found out real quick why she didn't go as high as I thought she would. And I mean, she was a nut. And she's calmed down a lot. She's chill. Her kids are pretty spunky too. They're like rabbits, trying to weigh them a day old, just jumping out of the bucket. And so they got some spunk there somewhere, but she's chilled out. She's you go out there and pet on her, but she don't act crazy anymore. She's a dang good doe. Really, like when I was weighing her kids and stuff, just super attentive, and she get real worked up. She making noise and really concerned about her kids. Really strong maternals, perfect bag, just built beautifully. And she's got an awesome pedigree. I don't know what else you would want.
Agree. JD?
No, Speckles over Wild Bill. I mean, this is people's chance.
Yep.
This lot here's, I mean, to me, it'd probably be the high selling lot in this thing. I mean, I remember that day he called about that doe, and that sucker was crazy. In fact, so crazy that West didn't even trim her hooves or nothing like that. The deal, so they're a little bit long. Her being a year and a half, never had her hooves ever trimmed. So that being said, they looked a little long, but for a year and a half, they didn't look that long. If you didn't know that he hadn't trimmed them ever in his life. But I think this doe here, I mean, and then you got 2 Dolings, I think, isn't it, out of that?
Yeah, twin doe.
Yep.
So I mean, that's a 3-for-1. 3-for-1 there, being speckles, and then granddaughters of speckles. This one will sell definitely. I don't need to say any more about it. The depth on that doe is really, really good. Shorter type of doe. You know, a lot of that speckle stuff you see, the bigger stuff crossed over tough, but this one crossed over wild bill. So yeah, I think that's a special doe, honestly. It's like he said.
I remember. I was that the one I dropped to you, Taylor,
Yes.
at 1 a.m. in the morning in Kentucky, and
That's
nobody
one.
Yep.
nobody warned me about hold on to her. But okay, yeah. So Bill, you got
And I'll
anything?
say, I checked her. I was checking, I was doing pictures, checking for matches and everything and bags, and she has the reddest eyes out of every goat I own. I don't deworm like much at all. Yeah, I'll check for matcha maybe like whenever I put right before I put the bucks in, and then at weaning time, I'll check them 2 times a year. And I mean, absolutely blood red. I don't know if you can tell in the pictures, but darkest eyes I've got.
Yeah, no, that's I just brought it up there. That's and with kids on them. I mean, they pull down on Famasha when they got kids on. Any of them do, pretty much. So yeah, definitely looks good. Bill, you want to round this out?
Well, the only thing I'd like to add, I appreciate that Taylor realizes this is an online auction. He's trying to give the customers as much information as possible. And one of the bits of information is the weights. And I just wanted to point out that even though, what'd you say, this 107-pound doe, don't think that
Yep.
bigger is always better. Think about
No.
weaning weight. So 107-pound doe, she weans off 100 pounds worth of kids versus a 150-pound doe that weans off maybe 110 pounds worth of kids. Which one's going to be the most efficient doe on your place? Don't be scared that this is a 107-pound doe, because I bet them kids outgrow her, and you shouldn't be scared of her at all. Just something to think about on weights. Don't always think bigger's better. Big bangs come in small packages, and I think this is going to be a bomb, like JD said, when it goes off. So don't discount her for weight.
And she's only 2. She's got more growing to do.
Oh yeah,
You know,
bit of confidence on this one for sure. Because I looked at her hard. I think I bought something else out there, Taylor, and it's the only reason I didn't get in on her. But yeah, that was a good choice you made there. Moving on to lot 18. Lot 18 is Isaiah's Tough Molly. It's, HFTX Isaiah's Tough Molly, and that's Isaiah's Fire doe there, which is Iron Horse and Nick. And then you got copyright stuff that we've talked about, and Molly again. If you note here, I mean, you can see commonality because it works. I mean, Taylor was picky when he was picking, and he picked the good ones and he picked the ones that work. So a great chance here just to put another one in your herd. Taylor?
Yeah, she's out of that same flush as lot number 5. Both of them have been awesome. They're what I would call just an all around doe. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about her, but other than she does a dang good job. Has really nice kids. She got 2 twin dolans at her side, so your return on your investment is going to be, a lot quicker than buying a yearling somewhere. I think she'll make you some money, and she's going to be a dang good doe.
Yep. Bill?
well, one of the things I'd like to point out, we've already talked about the pedigree, like Taylor said there in lot 5. But here's the interesting thing. Did you catch that? This is a flush mate. There's a lot of people who flush in AI thinking about the next doe that they're going to sell. I'm going to flush this to sell does. He's doing flushes to retain those does. He's doing flushes methodically to build his herd, or he was building his herd up until the sale. And we're going to have a going away party for you at Cookville. Be ready. But, just something to point out. He's kept 2 does out of this flush. He wasn't making the flush for offspring to sell. I mean, he was obviously thinking about that too, but he did it to retain it. So that should tell you something about the program and about these does themselves.
Yes. JD?
No, I just got on my notes there. I mean, good bag, 3-in-1 package, proven bloodlines. I mean, you can't say much. I really think the Dolings out of this one. Look at the video. Look at them Dolings. I think them Dolings are going to be special. That being said, I mean, look at the doe. She's special. So that's a really good lot.
Yep.
One that caught my attention.
Taylor, did I let you go already?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I did. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to lot 19. We're getting into a buck here. So we got to see the offspring out of this guy through several of the slides. This is Mr. TKI Blues Iron. He's a 6-year-old buck. His current weight as of 526 was 244 pounds. His birth date was February the 16th of 2020. Taylor put a lot of thought in this. I've said it in the beginning, I'll say it throughout, and I'm going to say it on the end. You know, a lot of times when you buy a buck like this, it's, oh, what about the straws? And Taylor said, you know what? If you're going to buy the buck, I want you to own everything. And this lot includes 136 straws of this buck. So when you get this buck, you already got insurance on him. You already got, money in the bank whenever you sell them that you can put back on your purchase. Looking at his pedigree, again, we've talked about him on the kids. Iron horse over a Way Beyond the Blue, which I just recently bought some Way Beyond the Blue because I've seen some Dolans out of him that I've liked. And Magnus Colorado, which was, a triplet brother to Indian Outlaw. Great looking pedigree, great looking buck in the picture. Your chance here to get an Iron Horse son. Taylor?
That's what makes me sad to get rid of, to be honest. I love this buck. He's just done so much for me. I collected him, and I didn't collect him to sell straws. That wasn't the intent. The intent was to collect him for me to be able to use him years down the road. I thought I'd be doing this for a long time, but things change. But I know I've sold less than 10. Probably, I think like 6 straws is what I could figure up that I've sold off of him. There's not a lot of straws been sold, and I haven't diluted the market on him. He's very marketable. There's not a bunch of buck kids out of him, floating around. You've got something that you can take, and there's a lot of meat on the bone to make money off this buck. I think the cheapest I sold a straw for was $125 for one straw. There's 136 in this lot. That's 17 grand. Of course, that would take you couldn't sell all of them at once. I'm not trying to say that, but just say if you're smart with it and you keep that back, and I think he can make you a lot of money. But you can see all his kids that he's produced. You've seen the daughters that have been in the sales. People obviously like them. Really hate to see him go. And he would never leave my farm if I weren't selling out. But
Okay. And that's looking here at your pedigree. I mean, you said it earlier. I mean, he has been performance tested. He has number 14 overall in 2025. And then, what were you saying here about his little mate sister Taylor sold at the cream of the crop? Did we get that right on there?
I don't believe so. No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, I'll make a note and check that. Okay. JD?
Yeah, so I saw this buck in person. Little bit different style of Iron Horse son here. The sucker is short, thick, heavy bone. I was very impressed whenever I saw him in person. you know, like he said, with the package semen, I mean, you look that picture right there, that blood red eyes. I mean, never had any problems with him. Somebody's going to benefit from him selling out by buying this buck. I guarantee you, because that's a shorter, stockier type of iron horse buck. I think a lot of that, you know, that dam or the bottom side of that way beyond the blue stuff's been phenomenal out there. You talk to the marks, they had like I think they had way, yeah, they did.
They did.
I mean, really good bloodline out of that on the dam side. They love the buck, the kids out of that. So I think this is a special deal here for somebody that's needing a buck. He's a shorter, thicker type of iron horse buck too.
Bill?
I've just got a question for Taylor, because I'm sure if I've got it, other people will. Just watching the video, looking at his face and everything, black skin. He's probably got black hooves. Is that a true statement, Taylor?
No, they're
Probably got
lighter
dark
hooves.
colored hooves. Are they
Yeah,
lighter hooves?
they got a little color, but they're not black. No, but I haven't had
But
any
they probably with that
issues.
you don't have with that color skin. You probably have had pretty good feet issues, though, right? Never have to mess with
Do
them.
I? No, I haven't had
With
any
that
feet
color,
issues.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I
No.
was just trying to be I guess you'd say the devil's advocate. Someone's sitting here watching and they're looking at all this and they want this outstanding buck. And we saw him from all sides on that video, and I wonder what those feet are before I bet on them. So I've had an iron
Yeah.
horse son I'd be pretty comfortable with as well. And I've got an iron horse grandson out there, a couple of them now, no feet problems. I doubt he does either, but
No.
looking at everything, that's the only thing that we haven't talked about is Buck's feet.
Yep. And if anybody has any questions, they want to see, closer up pictures of this or that, call me, text me, and message me on Facebook, and we'll get you whatever you want to see. I want you to be confident in what you bid on.
On that note, I mean, a lot of us, I think all of us on here is raised the bucks, grown him out, say, okay, we're going to see what he produces on the first crop. That's all gone. All right, here you've seen what he's got on the ground. They're in this sale. Taylor's retained him because he does produce. I mean, you can get ahead so fast right here on this lot. I would highly recommend you look at it hard and definitely bid if you're needing a Hertz-Sire buck. Moving on to lot 20, and I see where I got out of sync, Taylor. I was trying to look ahead, and so that's I'm sorry about the confusion. But looking at this next lot 20. Lot 20 is another buck, and this buck again right here we just talked about is out of TKI Blues Iron over a Strikes Flower Girl, which was she was earlier in the sale. Taylor, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So again, you get to see what it produced right here. This young buck, his birth date is 12/28/2024. This is where I was getting ahead of myself. His lettermate sister sold at the Cream of the Crop in 2025 for $2,000. That's where I got it ahead. But again, a great stack pedigree, a great young looking buck. Taylor, tell us about him.
Yeah, he was one of the best bucks out of that kid crop. Sent him to test, see what he could do, and he placed 14th overall at the University of Florida buck test. He's a good-looking buck, got a good build on him. He's got the buck test data to back him up. So he's a little more growthier. He's got a bigger frame than that other buck, that other buckling in the sale. But I think he's a really nice buck. These are the only two bucks that I kept back to sell from that kid crop. So these are the ones that I think were the best out of the whole crop. I think it'd be a good one.
JD.
No, not much on that. I mean, like I said, it's got the data to prove it. He's a good looking buck. Um, anybody looking for performance tested stuff, I mean, this is it. That Florida test was a tough test, and I didn't make it through it. So obviously mine wasn't as good as that. So, I mean, um, I think it's a good buck. I don't think anybody go wrong with that, especially looking for performance tested. He's been there and done it.
Bill?
Looking at the just watching the video and looking at the photos that was posted there of him. Other than the performance tested, biggest thing I always hear people complain, Kikos need to work on their backside, and it looks like he's got a lot of backside there to be working with. So I think he'd be a good good breeder for anyone that's working on that back end.
Yep. He's definitely got a rounded one.
Yep.
Okay. Moving ahead. Lot 21 is another buckling. This buckling is out of TKI Blue Iron. Is the sire that we just looked at, and then his dam is PBG Hoosiers 2372, which is a ATJ Colonel Coleman, which is at TDB Josie's Outlaw over Pepe Doe, and then you got Riptide rounding out the bottom for performance. So a young buckling here. Great opportunity to put one in your herd. Taylor?
Yeah, he did well on the West Virginia buck test. Got 28th on the fecal portion out of 200 bucks. He's a real heavy bone buck. If you like a shorter bulldog type build, I think this would be the buck. His feet were I hadn't touched these bucks' feet since they came home, or no, since they were sent to the test. So all that time, from the time they left to go to test till, when I got pictures for the catalog, I hadn't touched their feet, and I mean, there was barely anything to cut off. I mean, he's got really good feet, just like his dam. His dam is also in this sale. Earlier on lot, I don't think I wrote down which lot, but it's the PBG Hoosier 2372.
She was one of the first ones, I thought first 10 or so. Yeah, I think.
Right. Yeah, if you like the shorter, stockier, meatier type build, this would be a good buck. And I mean, he's not like he's little either. I mean, he's 136 pounds, so still good size. But I think he's got a lot of meat on him, and a really good rear end and everything.
Bill?
Isn't this the buck that Miles and I brought back to you last year?
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Okay, so this was the one that I was actually trying to get you to leave on the trailer, wasn't it? I remember this buck. Yeah, he is a meaty little dude back then. I can only imagine what he looks like now. He is stout too. I remember moving him from one trailer to the other in the parking lot and hoping that the locals wasn't going to eat him. Yes, I saw him back then. So he's good. He is stout back then. I can only imagine what he looks like now. I wanted to keep him. Taylor wouldn't let me leave him on the trailer.
JD?
I really like the buck. We talked about that bloodline earlier on that bottom side, the parasite resistance Pat's got. And it starts to show in here. I mean, 28th, a lot of times there's no difference between 10th and 28th. It's a couple of bugs. I just think this buck here, I really, really like this buck. Looking at him, looking at the videos, well-balanced, shorter, thicker. This buck should sell pretty good. I really, really like this buck. Everybody knows how I like bucks too. So, but I think this one's going to be special. Somebody needs to jump on it. Honestly, the feet's a big deal on these bucks, because you're breeding them to everything in your herd, and he already said that there wasn't much trimming on this stuff. So if you're looking, that's very, very important when you're looking at a buck. So anybody looking for a buck shouldn't have to look no more because it's right there in front of them on the screen whenever they get ready.
Get it home, get it transitioned, and put it to work. Lot 22. Lot 22 is HFTX Blues 274 girl. Her date of birth is 1/3/2025, and I got a badger face doe here. Her pedigree is TKI Blue Iron, which we just saw there a little while ago. Definitely can tell what he's going to produce over that strike gold. And Isaiah's Fire that Taylor has used. Nice looking doe. Got a great teats there, ready to go to work. Taylor, tell us about her.
This is that Blue Iron over Strike Gold cross I've been talking about. I love them. I love that cross. I just think they make some beautiful kids. Don't know really what I would change about her, to be honest.
JD.
No, very fleshy. Good depth for a yearling. If I was looking to increase my herd, I think I'd buy the buck and then the doe would produce that after looking at that doe and just build you a herd off of them because, man, I'll tell you, that's a good looking doe right there. That's what I was telling you earlier about some of that stuff. I see the kids are just phenomenal out of that bloodline. Now I know why, he really liked that bloodline crossed with that because it works. Man, she's nice, very fleshy, slicked off. That's what you want.
Yes, Bill.
Yep, she's definitely super well built. Very proportionate. When people talk about conformation, that should be the poster goat to show what that is.
She's nice. Like it. Moving on to lot 23. Lot 23 is HFTX Blues. Yeah, Blues 255 girl. Her date of birth is 1/1/25. If we look at the pedigree here, remember that doe that we talked about earlier is probably flesh quality. You got Blue Iron over that OLF Leslie Ann, which is a 6289 daughter over an exclusively blue dam. Good looking doe, clean, 1-1, good for matcha, great build, front to back, straight lined, can build you some babies. Tell her about it, Taylor.
Yeah, so her dam's at lot 3. Every kid out of that doe been heavy bone, really good rear end. Akiko's kind of struggled with that rear end, but her kids are always thick throughout. That's something to be sought after. She's one of my favorites of the group, to be honest with you. I know what her dam is, and she's just got a really solid, meaty build to her. Really like her. She wouldn't be for sale. Yeah, I wouldn't be taking her to a sale if I wasn't selling out.
Yeah, I think that's evident through the whole sale. I mean, it's quality all the way through, Taylor. Bill.
Nothing really we could add on the pedigree. We've talked about the mom. We've talked about the dad. Looking at the doe, who wouldn't want that in their herd? Big old doe. She does look like, he says that she's got big bone. I'm looking at the picture. It appears that she's got big bone, so I don't think he's lying to us. She looks like a dandy doe for sure.
JD?
No, I really liked the doe early on. You look triplet, 83 pounds. A yearling for a triplet, that's good. I mean, that's the stuff you need to look at. Makes you really want to go back and research that dam a little bit and think about her after looking at this lot.
Yep. Lot 24 is next. A little flashy color here. This is lot 24, HFTX Blues 275 girl. Her weight as of 4/5/26 was 108 pounds. Looking at her pedigree, we saw some of those kids earlier that was bred by Bro's girl. Got Bro, West Virginia 23. Here's the doe that's grown out. Looks really nice out of that buck. You got Kahuna on the top over Out of the Blue and Phantom 399 that we talked about earlier. Great lineup. JD?
I mean, good bone color if you like it. I'm kind of disappointed in the buck. He threw some color, but no, really, that's. I mean, you look at it, that's another doe that's fleshed. Well, man, I almost guarantee you the udders on these goats just being out of that E21 doe. Phenomenal udders for a 12-year-old doe. Man, that's a nice looking doe. I mean, yearling. So,
Yeah. Bill?
You know, once you one thing that I can say about Taylor's herd, they're pretty much cookie cutter. You've got the straight back, the straight lines, long body, and it's good to see the doe of this age, because we've seen the kids in the earlier lots that was bred to bra, and now we can see what they grow into. So yeah, I think that's a pretty exciting thing in itself. Just you can see the evolution, from 90 days old or 60 days old, whatever they are, to here we now have yearlings. Just pretty amazing program that he had going on there.
Yes. Taylor?
Yeah, and I just noticed I must have submitted the wrong name there into the jot form. It's Bruz 275 girl. The pedigree on there is right. It's just her name is listed as Blues. It should be Bruz. But yeah, I mean she really dang good doe, looking doeling. Her half sister, which is out of that flashy Sally, she was a first timer this year, and she was perfect. So I'd expect her to be, like her sister, her half sister.
Okay. Lot 25. Lot 25 is HFTX Bras 283 girl. Go back to her birthday. Her birthday is 1/6/25 doling here. Looking at her pedigree. She got Bra there on the top, out of Red Rock, which is out of Rusty, and that Mustang Sally Iron Horse doe. And then you round out the bottom with Terminator 3 and Snowdrop. Goes back to Fiddling. Nice looking doe here. Young doe. Good build. Good bone. Taylor?
So she's out of a homegrown doe, out of that term snow too. That snowdrop line I really like. She was her dam was raising kids, and I guess another doe got a hold of her and dislocated her leg, and we took her to the vet and tried to get it back in, but we just couldn't. She weaned off her kids, she produced some really nice looking kids. Like I said, that snowdrop line has been really good for me. So I think she'll be good for somebody else.
Yep. JD?
no, you got Kahuna, you got Fiddler, Rusty, Terminator. Like I said, on my notes here, I said make sure and watch the video. I mean, this doe's got the depth. She's got the build. She's what everyone's looking for. So I really, really like this doe's depth too. So good doe. Good lot.
Bill?
I was just taking a look at the like the maternal lines, even the maternal line on the top, from Bra. Of course, you got one of JD's favorite does in there. How do you say that? Caffel?
Caffel. And I bought Caffel, and then, or actually, I bought E21. Then E21. I was like, man, I really like that doe. So then I went back and bought Caffel from the Sparks. That's Sports Cat daughter. Man, I'll tell you, E21's probably Caffel. Everybody knows how special them two Sports Cat daughters are, but E21, honestly, man, she's right there, if not better. I mean, she's a special doe, and I still got her in my herd out here. Anybody wants to come see her? She got a broken jaw for 3 years now and still survives. She looks like heck on the face, but the body's good.
Well, and you have your favorite doe, going down a couple of lines. That Mustang Sally, that was one of Brent Bollinger's favorite does, because he also does maternal. So you threw that MCR bedrock or red rock on the top there was Rusty over Sally. I mean, you got this girl just screams. She's full of maternal. She's going to be a kid raising fool, and you probably better not get in her way while she's doing it.
For sure. Okay, let me get queued up here. Moving on to lot 26. 26 is FTX Blues 278 girl. This doe is out of the dam of lot 15. Her birth date is 1/3/2025. Looking at her pedigree, again out of Blue Iron, which we saw in that Mila out of Dennis Higgins and stuff. It works, Taylor.
Yep. She's well, I got this place. Sorry. A lot of performance here. Which lot are we on?
I said 26.
Yeah, that's right.
26, yeah.
Okay, I skipped ahead. That's what it was. I was looking at my notes, and the pedigree wasn't matching what I was talking about. But a lot of performance here. You got Resistol, that Speckles 41 boy. Mr. Speckles Resistol. She's just really pretty doe, and her mom, real feminine, really good built, perfect bag. Always had a dark Famacha, and good kids. I don't know of anything negative to say about her.
If you did, you'd say it.
Yeah.
Bill?
Nothing really to add. We've seen the sire, we've seen the dam, we see what they do together. I guess kind of on a humorous note, the other day on the Book of Faces, I saw a person on one of the Facebook groups I didn't recognize, and part of her criteria for doe selection was she wanted a doe with a little color, and it had to have wattles. So that doe's for you, ma'am.
I like him wattles. Bill? JD, I'm sorry.
No, like I said, you see lot 15, super nice doe. You've seen the buck in here, super nice buck. She's nice. I mean, that's about all you can say. Y'all got her in good depth. You got all these yearlings, honestly, man. I looked through there. You got a really consistent herd of, I say doelings, they're yearlings. I don't know. I mean, the consistency's there. You got to where you need to be. It's just by the time you got there, life changed a little bit. But somebody's going to benefit from this if they're watching this and watching that sale. Go back, watch it. That's all I'm saying. Look at these, how they move, the depth in them. They're just, man, you've done good over the 7 years. You produced a really, really good set of yearlings here.
I appreciate it. And, all these yearlings, I'll at weaning, anything obvious, they're dinks or you got extras or anything obvious, I'll call them right at weaning, and then I'll bring them home, and I don't touch them. I don't trim their feet. I don't. I don't deworm them. I don't check for matcha. They cull themselves or they get looking rough or something, and I'll just throughout the year I'll take them to the sale barn. Um, so these does, they're not these yearlings. They're not pampered. You know, I'm not limping them through to get them to where I can sell them. I put them out there and let them be goats and do their thing. And um, these are the ones I was left with that just did what they were supposed to do.
You can tell that. Lot 27, was that right? Who's keeping up
Yep.
with me? Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it. I need some
Yeah,
help.
don't ask me.
I need some help. Okay, lot 27, another yearling, date of birth 1/6/2025. This is FTX Blues 281 girl out of Blue Iron, and that Flashy Patsy back to the RBK line that he likes. Looking here, it's doubled up on the bottom with out of the blue. You got some more blue sun up there way beyond the blue with Iron Horse. Great looking doe. Clean, good for matcha, good build. Taylor?
Yeah, so she got a lot of that out of the blue, and it's done really good for me. She's another one that's a little taller, longer doe. Um, I would breed her to a shorter, stockier buck whenever I got ready to breed her. So I'd like to take a little bit of leg off of her. But other than that, she's a good doe. She don't look bad, but
Mm-mm.
I'm always critiquing. Even if it's mine, I'm going to find something that I would change about them. But yeah, I think you put a shorter, stockier buck on her, you're going to have some really good looking kids. They're going to do good for you.
Yep. JD?
No, I mean you talk about that. I mean she is a little bit bigger doe. I do the same thing. I do it on my herd also. Little different here is that her being a bigger, taller doe like that, being 4 shots of blue degree too. So that doe's going to be tough. Plus a lot of the blue sun stuff's a little bit slower growing, at least from what I've seen. But this doe don't look like she's going to be slower growing. So somebody looking for blue sun with some growth, I think this is probably going to be your doe.
Bill? Anything?
100-pound yearling. So to me, it looks like she's growing pretty fast. Honestly,
Yeah.
but yeah, I have blue sun over Iron Horse buck. Love him to pieces, and here you've got Iron Horse over the top of basically, you might as well say a blue sun daughter. I think it's a great cross. I agree with Taylor. Put something to knock some leg off of it, and you're going to hit a home run with her.
Yes. Lot 28. Lot 28 is HFTX Blues 268 girl. This is another Blue Iron yearling out of the HBH Delilah, which goes back to Zeus Sting Bear, and ECR Rojo Grande on the bottom. Great looking doe. Clean, good for matcha, great color, Great front end, not narrow. Square back to her hips. Good top line. A great yearling here. Taylor?
Yeah, her dam was a larger frame doe, and she had a perfect udder. Um, and she's produced. I think she's produced some really quality females over her lifetime. Um, I think she's going to be good, productive doe for you.
JD?
No, all I got on my notes on this, after looking at the videos, broad chest, like you said, Andy, early on, go straight back to the rumps, out of a doe with a great udder. Not really familiar with the breeding on the bottom as much, but the doe, man, she looks pretty good. I did put thick chest on here, not narrow chested, so that's something on these yearlings you look for.
Good springer rib. She's got carrying capacity, and
Yeah.
you can breed her down the way you want. Bill?
Yep, for sure. Oh, you can only echo what you and JD are talking about. She's square on all four corners, and that's what you're looking for. I do like in this photo that you've got up there, she's alert. She's not lackadaisical, and I bet that's going to translate to being a mama. No one's going to sneak up and get her kids. I bet she's going to be a good maternal. She looks like she's alert and aware of what's going on around her.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't touch these yearlings. They're out there being goats. So I mean, I feed them, put out hay, when they see me. But as far as putting your hands on them, I'm a hands off type of guy. I don't have time or desire to be handling them, petting them, and
That's what you got your cattle for, right?
Yeah.
Lot 29, date of birth 1/7/2025. This is HFTX Bras 287 girl. We've talked about Bra. We've seen kids out of him on these does. The bottom side here is that DDH Mindy, which goes back to the Christopher and the Chris Manna, double red Chris Manna. Nice looking Dolan. Again, say it again, clean. Look at the Famacha. Nice and red. Great looking yearling. JD?
No, this is another one you need to watch the video on. Look at the depth in this doe, the springer ribs on this doe, and very interesting pedigree. This Kahuna, Razzle, and then your double bred Chris Manna. Kahuna, Razzle, that's, you think of Hubbard Hills, you think of that bloodline, then you think of Chris Manna, the Dennis Higgins bloodline. I just think potentially this doe could be very, very special in the future, especially when you watch that video of this doe. I like her a lot.
Bill?
Oh, I like her a lot too. And looking at that doe, I had I talked about doe I had out of Chris Manna. I had a buck out of Chris Manna a bunch of years ago too. That was, what was his name? DDH Gorgeous George D145. So I don't know. George is what we called him. But his does look just like that doe. The does he produced. So I can see a lot of that Chris Manna coming out in this doe. And I just, I agree with JD. You got heavy hitters. You got the best of both worlds. You got Hubbard Hill genetics on top with Dindar down at the bottom with that double bred Chris Manna. This is another one of them does that's, it'll give you a home run.
Definitely. Taylor?
Yeah, and you got Bra over that performance genetics down at the bottom. Great combination, and she looks awesome.
Definitely. Lot 30. Lot 30 is straight up Hubbard Hills. This is HFTX Bras 291 girl. Looking at the pedigree. Bra out of Kahuna. You got Cherokee Filler there, Razzle. Then on the dam side, you got Prodigy 118 over Ramblin' Blues. It's pretty much JD's best lined up, top to bottom. Tell us about JD.
Is that the right? Did you switch
Did I?
pedigrees on there or goes?
Did I?
I don't think so.
Let me look. I didn't. You know your stuff,
There
man.
we go.
That look more familiar?
It does look a little bit more familiar. You know, you look at it, that those got muscling. I know, like you said, I know for a fact the bloodline works. Actually, I feel like he just stole this one out of my herd from me.
Looks like it.
Seriously, watch the video. You Kahuna over Ramblin' Blues. That's the cross that works. That's the stuff that's going to test well. I mean, Brad had Ramblin' Blues. He tested 5 or 6 goats. They were all, man, top 40 goats on parasites. Then you got Kahuna for the build. I personally think it's a good bloodline. That's what we've been shooting for, is this type of nose, especially when you look at watch the video, you look at the muscling on her.
Definitely. Something I just noticed in that picture that came back from my vault. I mean, you look at the reach on that. We don't talk about it much in Kiko's, but they got to move. And the more stride they make, the more and the easier ground it is for them cover, and it is for them to graze and do what they got to do. But I just love the way that she's got that reach there, and it's just effortless. You can tell from the picture, she's just going to move effortlessly, and what she consumes, she's going to put on and keep on. That's my thought on that. Bill?
You know, I've been out to JD's farm time or two, and that doe looks like any doe out there in his pasture. So you can definitely tell that that's got all of his influence, pun intended. But yeah, great looking doe there.
Yep. Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much say this is a GOT doe. I just put it together. Shit. I mean, there's not really much more that I can say. I mean, I really like her. She's done what she's supposed to do up to this point. I think she's going to be another good doe.
Yeah.
You put them together better than I do.
I just get lucky sometimes. That's all.
We all do.
Blind hog finds an acorn every now and then.
Lot 31. Lot 31 is HFTX Blues 272 girl. Her date of birth is 1/3/2025. Looking at pedigree, we have TKI Blue Iron on top side and Strike Gold. This worked for Taylor. He's proved it in the offspring. It's in the sale. Great looking doe here. We go through. She's clean. Wow, Famacious deep red. Looks good. Got color to boot. Got that Strike Gold kind of mark on her, except it's reversed, I think. But great looking doe. Taylor?
Yeah, similar cross you'll see in some other stuff. Something works really good, just why change it? Do it again. I mean, I've got older does that have done well with that same cross. Like she'll be a solid doe.
Bill?
Didn't we talk about her dam earlier? Strike Gold over Isaiah's Fire, that Rory decided that was pretty much a home run, and then we put your favorite buck over it, throw some of that Iron Horse and Blue Sun on top. Looks like a winning recipe to me.
Yeah, for sure. JD?
No, like I said, not my bloodline. This is, but I'll tell you, this goat here, you look at her, she looks like a working goat to me. big broad chest. You look at her udder there. I mean, hadn't kidded, but I mean, really, really good tight teats. Watch her walk in the video. She looked good whenever I looked at her. I liked the way she moved, the way she presented herself. I think that's going to be a good working doe right there for somebody.
Yes.
And you can see the consistency in that cross.
Yeah.
There's multiple examples. It's not a one-time fluke deal. It worked out. I mean, it's repetitive.
Lot 32. Lot 32, I think GD needs to pay attention here. This is HFTX Blues 263 girl. Date of birth is 12/30/2024. 123 pounds as of 4/5/26. Another one of Taylor's favorites. When I looked at the picture, I was like, wow. I was going to tell you, the rear end matches the front end. Spring of rib, standing there looking great. Pedigree, Famacha. Wow. I mean, that's just, I know JD has a lot of kahuna stuff, but this doe is impressive looking. Taylor?
This, I got a bruh on board, and which has a kahuna son, and this was kind of a indicator to me how well blue iron and kahuna that bloodline was going to cross. Just from day one, she's been one of my favorite doelings out of that crop. She's built really well and incredible growth. Her weaning weight, nearly 50 pounds. And that was out of a first timer, I believe. I mean, she's a monster, and but she's still put together well. And that was one thing I was really excited about, was crossing blue iron with bruh, kahuna son. I thought this is going to be awesome. I was really looking forward to doing that cross a lot.
It worked. JD?
I think so.
I mean, there's not much to say about that doe. Just like you said, Andy. I mean, wow. You look at that. You look at that picture, and then you look at the video, and it's like, man, I wished every one of them in my herd looked like that. Man, she is just thick from front to back. Got the depth, fleshy. You're right. I mean, this is what you was working for, and this is the results. So, people listening and watching, I mean, this is what you can get. I mean, out of what he's worked for years. It took him 7 years to get there, to figure it out what kind of crosses he wanted to get there, and this is it. That's an impressive doe. Everybody would like to have that doe right there in their yearling pen.
And she got that way hands off. I mean, it ain't like she was baby. Taylor told you.
No.
I mean, she got it and was able to do it. Bill?
What is there really to back up? She definitely got it on her own, and at 123 pounds at that age, she's definitely taking her inputs and being able to convert that to muscle in a good way. She looks like a super well balanced doe.
Yes. Lot 33. Lot 33 is HFTX Bras 285 girl. Date of birth 1/7/2025. Looking at her pedigree, you got bra on top, which is Kahuna over Cherokee Fiddler Dam and Cafale, and then you got Red Rock that we talked about earlier over and out of the blue doe. Straight up clean, good Famacha, good picture, good looking doe. Taylor?
Yeah, she's a little smaller than the others. Not significantly, just she's a little bit smaller. Uh, I think it was she had a big setback around weaning time. I guess she got bitten by a copperhead or something. Um, I didn't I didn't really even think she would make it. To be honest with you, it looked pretty rough, and I was like, well, just leave her in there and see if she heals up. She pulled through, and she actually turned out to be pretty nice. Um, I, I know she's tough, pulls through something like that, and um, her mom had a real strong maternals to her, really good mom. Uh, she's a litter mate sister to Lot 39. So you can see, we'll take a look at Lot 39 and, probably see maybe a little more of what she would have been if she hadn't had that setback um, like that. That's going to take a toll on a goat.
Yeah.
Be going through some snake bite like that. So try not to let that her size, throw you off of what her potential is as far as raising kids and what she can produce.
I've personally seen that. Have a young doe and have some type of setback, and it seems like that they hold that growth into the second year, and can turn on and bounce back out to where they normally would. So, Bill.
Oh, I was just gonna. I agree with you 100%. Here in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, if you follow the book Faces, I'm always getting goats bit by either copperheads or pygmy rattlers, and yeah, it'll slow them down a little bit. But normally by that second year, they're right back up with their contemporary group. Goats are tough as nails. And I'd have no doubt. I'd look through your catalog. So looking at her litter mate sister earlier, I have no doubt that this one won't catch up with her.
JD.
I was just thinking this is probably one that, don't bring as much money. It's going to be probably one of them steals of the sale that somebody 2 or 3 years down the road's like realizes,
Yep.
you got something because for a fact she's tougher than nails and she can survive, and that's a big plus. You take any other goats other than the Kikos and stuff like that, they're not going to survive like that. So I think this will probably be a steal in a sale if somebody ain't paying attention, realizing that she was snake bit and set back a little bit.
I agree. Lot 34. Lot 34 is HFTX Bras 294 girl. Date of birth 1/9/2025. She shares the same dam as Lot 9 and a litter mate sister to Lot 36. Looking at pedigree, got bra there. And then on the bottom side is that out of the blue and TMK Macho's black guy that we talked a little bit earlier about. Looking at the doe, great hips, great front end, got like the black horns, clean, really great for Masha. Another great yearling lined up for you to use and put in production. Taylor?
Yeah, her dam, that's another one that I have a lot of history with. One of the ones that sold me on that CLP out of the blue. Um, I love her dam. Uh, I think she'll be a really good doe for someone. You can see that bruh buck. He one of the things I thought was special about him, his hind end. You don't see a hind end on a Kiko um, every day. It's got that rear end like bruh. Um, I try to find the weak points or something that I see could use some work. And whenever I'm breeding, I take that in consideration. Like I don't just throw it out there and hoping something sticks. You know, there's a reason why I wanted bruh. There's a reason why I was putting him on these does. Um, and I think right here, I think she's going to be, just a really good doe. She's got the proof on the bottom side to be, proof on the bottom side being good maternals and good bottom side, and then you got that bruh that's going to, he's. I haven't seen his daughter's kid, but as all I can go off is how they're made. Um, but going off of what JD's talking about razzle, I would say they're going to be phenomenal moms too.
For sure. I think Taylor said it pretty much all of it there. Everybody agree?
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep.
I'm excited to see this next lot. That's really what it is. Lot 35. Lot 35, this is CVK 904. Her date of birth is 1/13/2025. Taylor picked her up at the cream of the crop. He wasn't planning on really buying anything, but when she come through, he's like, had her marked and had to have her. She has a strong phenotype, what he feels like a meat goat should look like. And when I look at her, I see a feminine neck, a wide chest, length of body, spring of rib, her front hip, front shoulder lines up with her back. Great looking meat goat here. We look at her pedigree. It's a Chinook, WV18, hammer over June 2. We've talked about her a lot in all the streams. Then you got JDR Logan, which goes back to Blue Sun over a Ryback doe, Spotted Clover, and we know kind of where Spotted Clover stands in Kendall's herd. He's one of his all-time favorites, I think. So, JD, you want to talk about this doe?
No, just my notes. Somebody's gonna be glad Taylor picked this one up because I think I was bidding on this one at the cream also. Man, this girl's built. Like I said, we look at that other doe earlier. You pick some of these yearlings up. You got a really, really good start to a herd, and you're not. This sale's a little different than all them other them online sales, or not online sales, but any consignment sale like that. You got the cream of the crop to pick from here, and I mean it's stacked pedigree on this one too. Golly,
Definitely
nice doe.
Yeah, very nice. Bill.
This is one of those does I actually saw in person a lot last summer. I was out at Kendall and Dana's several times throughout the summer, so seeing her from when she was weaned at midsummer. And he had about four. Well, he had a bunch of those, but there are four of them that I was keeping my eyes on. And old Hendley here was lucky he got this one. I still took two home, so I wasn't hating life. But this one was definitely an eye catcher, even from the time she was weaned all the way up through the cream. So it's she was definitely a dandy back then, and it looks like from the photos she's only continued to grow. And like you say, Spotted Clover, the purple clovers, that's all Kendall's, some of his favorite does, and those does aren't getting any younger, and he doesn't have a whole lot of daughters of those left. So if you're looking for anything with any Spotted Clover in there, this is your chance. You're not going to have very many of those chances because Kendall didn't keep many of them back, and he's keeping them back now. So you want Chinook over Clover, this is your doe.
Yeah. Taylor.
They pretty much covered the pedigree part. I agree, and she's built like a brick house. And you look at, she looks fleshy. That's not fat. That's muscle. You can see the definition. There's a difference in thick, fat goats and thick, muscled goats. She's a solid chunk of meat. I really like her.
Yeah. Lot 36. Lot 36 is HFTX Broads 293 girl. Date of birth 1/9/2025. She's a daughter of Lot 2 and a sister to Lot 34. Shares the same dam as Lot 9. Wow, on this one too. I mean, this is a really great looking bra, though. So looking at pedigree, it's bra West Virginia 23, Kahuna over Razzle, and then you go back to that Out of the Blue that Taylor saw great things out of and put that over the Macho Man, black guy. Great looking doe here. Going through, she's clean. Good for Macha. Yeah, I mean, that's just a. He said, I mean, you can look at the bras, I think, and you can see that hip on it pronounces out. And this is not belly fat, like he said. I mean, this is meat. This is meat. You got good bone on the front end, good stand. I like this doe. JD?
Cookie cutter to the rest. I mean, I marked on this thing. There's not much to say. I mean, you can look at the pedigree, you can look at the goat, and I mean, all of them are kind of cookie cutters in the yearlings he's got. She's super nice there. I mean, you got Hammer, you got Blue Sun, you got stacked pedigree with a perfect looking goat.
Definitely. Bill?
Nothing to add. You can definitely tell all of bras. They're just cookie cutters, and that's what any of us Kiko producers should be looking for. You know, see some bucks where you got dinks and you got outstanding ones. You know, you got winners and you got losers. But what we need is consistency, and this bucket brought consistency to the Hendley farm. I think that's important.
For sure. Taylor?
Yeah, you're talking about that consistency. I think, bro, I guess he gets that from Kahuna. I've noticed that the sales, you know, I can usually spot a Kahuna daughter. They just have that look, and it's a good look. But, you know, and of course, you got the spring on the bottom, like we've talked about. Awesome doe.
Great doe. Lot 37. Lot 37 is HFTX Bras, 261 girl. Date of birth 12/28/2024. Looking at the pedigree next here, we got bra on top that we just talked about, and then over in Isaiah's Fire Daughter. And then you got Copyright Tough to put that parasite resistance back in. Bounce out well over Molly and Iron Horse. Great looking pedigree. Clean. Good for Matcha. And we go right back to Stamp on the rear. Got it on the front. JD?
No, kind of the same as the other ones. I mean, we can talk about them all night. They're nice. She's got good depth. She's got good bone. The hips there. Like I said earlier, after looking through these pictures, I mean, somebody's going to get some heck of a yearlings out of this sale. I just hope everybody's watching like they should be on this, because I mean, man, there's some nice goats. I honestly wished I had. I mean, great set of yearlings.
Yep. Bill?
I can't really add anything different to it. Yeah, anyone won't go wrong with anything. There's not a better or a lesser goat in this lineup.
Definitely. Taylor?
Yeah, we pretty much covered her pedigree, similar to some other stuff. I don't really know what else to add there.
I don't think you could. I mean, it's a package. Lot 38. Lot 38 is HFTX Bras, 262 girl, 12/28/2024. This is a twin, Taylor, to the one we just looked at.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yep.
yeah, pedigree the same one. The lot we just looked at. It's a twin Dolan, and when I looked at the picture, I was like, okay, we just looked at that, and we did. I mean, it's great looking doe. We went over the pedigree. Clean. Great for Matcha. I mean, look at that. Wouldn't that be beautiful looking, standing in my pasture out here? That would, wouldn't it? Somebody needs to tell Paige. to look at this catalog. JD, what are you gonna say
Andy, I
about
don't think anyone tells Paige anything. You ask her very nicely to look at the catalog.
Yeah, exactly. That's I should try
No,
that.
you look at lot 37. You look at lot 38. You know what else I'd look at? Lot 5, the one that produced them, right? I mean, golly, that's that works, and I imagine somewhere down the line you could probably get a brush straw to throw in that doe on lot 3, and man, you could have a whole herd full of them. Honestly, I mean, gosh, they're nice. Good job.
Yeah, for sure. Taylor.
Yeah, I mean it's a similar thing to the last lot. Dang good yearling, I think.
Lot 39. Am I right there? Did I get excited?
I don't see her.
No, I'm just saying, is that am I right on the
Yeah,
catalog?
you're on lot 39.
Okay, 39. Yep.
Yep.
Brad's girl 286. Red Rock on the bottom, which goes back to ECR Rusty, and then Out of the Blue. It's just you hit it, man. You should stay in it.
I know.
Great for Machas, a great doe. Bill, you want to say anything on Ross 286 girl?
We really can. I mean, we've talked about the pedigree or aspects of the pedigree time and time again, and again, one of those cookie cutter yearlings that we've seen before. I mean, another one that you just be proud to have a herd full of.
Sure. Taylor.
Yeah, I think she's super pretty doe. Yep, there's really not much I can add to that.
Lot 40, we're getting into the semen. Out of the live lots and in the semen. This is GHK Dark Horse. 2 straws, is that right? Yep, 2 straws stored at Bonanza. GHK Dark Horse. He is an Iron Horse son over a Terminator 2 daughter. JD, I think you've got some experience with Dark Horse, don't you?
I sure do. So he was one of them I bought when he was 7 years old. Lived till he was 12 or 13. I can't remember. Sucker was crazy. I mean, I went and picked him up in Mississippi. The lady had him out on 80 acres. Didn't catch him before I brought him in. He was a little bit, honestly, whenever I talked to Dave, the reason I went after this buck, I asked him, of course, Iron Horse was big at the time. I said, if you could have any Iron Horse son that you wanted back, he said, there's a lady in Mississippi bought a black Iron Horse son. That sucker had bone, was short, deep. He said, that's the one I'd go after. It took me about 2 years to find the lady. Then I thought I'll go pick it up. Well, she didn't have it pinned up. That sucker, it was all day at 100 degrees with 100% humidity. But I have a heavy boned. I got does still in my herd that are 10 years old, great udders, still producing. So, I mean, he's a good, solid Iron Horse buck. Goes back to Terminator 2 right there, very, very close. I think the straws are good. I know the buck's good. I got does out in my herd if anybody wants to see them. So, and I think there's another Iron Horse son in this cell that's really good too.
Taylor.
Yeah, I think didn't Dave Sparks tell you out of all the sons he produced, that would be his pick?
Yeah, that's the one he said, and that's why I went to try to find it.
Yeah.
He just said that sucker was blood red eyes when he sold it, and then whenever I went to get that sucker, he had blood red eyes, but he was very, very crazy when I went to pick him up. He settled down after the years, but he was nuts.
Great chance here to do some repo work with that. Bill, you want to say anything?
The only thing I'd want to point out, we've talked about Iron Horse and, over a Terminator 2 daughter, But going down a step further, having Tasman Zero that's not completely over on the right hand side is pretty interesting too. So yeah, it's one of those I think bucks that people forget about. That he was pretty influential back in the day. So have them all three there: Iron Horse, Terminator 2, and Zorro. JD kept him around until he died, so that's proof in the pudding because I've seen him take bucks he don't like to market quicker than anything.
He was tough.
Lot
And in
41.
your early days, he was definitely tough because you did things a
Oh,
little
yeah.
different when you first started out.
Yeah, I about killed them all.
Lot 41. DRZ Butterscotch. This is 2 straws stored at Bonanza. I think looking at the buck and having some experience with some similar stuff, I know what Taylor's plan was there. You know, he's planning on using these straws a little bit later on in his program. JD, once again, I think you've got some hands-on with this guy. Well, you know.
Yeah, I'd buy these straws and I'd put them in one of them Brodos. You look at the hips on them Brodos, and that's exactly what I'd do. Is I'd take these straws, and you just don't get bucks like that. I mean, that sucker, he was not very tall, but man, he was thick. I mean, that's all I can say. I didn't get to use him a long time. He unfortunately had a accident with what he breeds with, so there's a story behind that. But I still have does in my herd out of him. The Mansfield has does. That Madonna doe they love so much, I mean, is out of Butterscotch. So he's a good buck. He's a man. That sucker was thick. One of the thickest Kikos I ever seen.
Bill?
Can't really add anything to it. I've seen several Butterscotch daughters over the years come through the sales, and you can tell who their daddy is. So I think if you're wanting to knock some leg off some doe or add a little bit of muscling, this is definitely the buck to put with it.
Taylor?
Yeah, just looking. I've only seen pictures of him, but I've never seen another Kiko that amount of muscling. I was going to keep these straws back till I had my herd right where I wanted it, had what I thought was the perfect set of does. Then I was going to use these straws to be the icing on the cake. I don't care what other straws are valued at. There's not a single straw you could offer me to trade for these straws. There's nothing more that I wanted than these right here.
Agree. I like the pedigree and like the buck. Lot 42. Team K Keeper's Prodigy. Taylor's got a good write up here on his West Virginia performance stats. Looking at the pedigree, this is a keeper son over TMK Cali, which is a Wild Bill daughter over Iron Horse. JD, 118.
I mean, them 3 goats. I had one. Christian had one, and then the only reason they can keep that earmark buck's a good buck too. I mean, he was just a solid. He died too early. I mean, he fighting with Hank out there and snapped his neck. He just. I mean, if you look, I mean, you can see keeper in him for sure, right? I mean, he was a well built buck that. Big boned, heavy hooves. I mean, and his hooves were really, really, really good. I mean, I didn't have to do anything with them. And sometimes that's hard to do on them bigger bucks to get them good feet like that. Very easy trimming whenever you had to. I'd check him about once a year. Just wasn't
Bill?
much there. Black hooves. So.
Bill?
Nothing really to add there. It's one of those things, Wild Bill's, this buck in his own right is a pretty famous buck, but then you look at his parentage. I mean, Wild Bill's, some of you and the new people starting to they know the name Wild Bill. They know the name Keeper. Of course, you got Iron Horse down there again. It's just, what more could you ask for? and I've seen several of his daughters over the years at the different sales. Good looking buck. I think he would add to your program too.
Yep. I think if you bought one of those does, you could knock a little leg off with him. Taylor?
Yep.
Yeah, I've just seen the offspring he produces at sales, and I was a fan, and I knew JD really liked him, so I got a hold of those straws. I think it'd be a good one.
Definitely. Lot 43. Continuing off the semen, this is one straw of GHK Cherokee Fiddler. Probably one of the best known Lover Boy sons. Lover Boy over Lightning's Titan P21, which is Waco 139 over Victoria's Farm Pudding. Really great pedigree. I used the straw one time. I really liked what I got out of it. It's out there working. So. Bill?
You know, this was one of Dr. Sparks and Linda's favorite bucks. Whatever Iron Horse does was put out there, they'd get crossed with Cherokee Fiddler, and whatever Fiddler does were put out, you know, they made that year's crossed with Iron Horse, and any doeling that they'd buy at the sales, they'd breed back to him and sell them the next year. I mean, he's a pretty famous buck in his own right, for sure. He's definitely a doe maker, and always been known to have nice setters and everything like that.
Taylor?
Yeah, I never saw him in person. I've just heard a lot of good things of him, and there were a lot of people who really liked him. So I was gonna try him out for myself. I think that Lightning's Lady P21 is a full sister to Lightning's Titan, right?
I do think that is right.
And then a full sister to the dam of Sky Blue's Copyright.
Yep.
I believe you're right. You know,
I think he is. Great pedigree, great buck. Go ahead, Bill.
Kurt Bowman owned him in his later years, and he did a lot of great things down there in Arkansas for Kurt's farm too.
Lot 44 is up next. Lot 44 is CLP Out of the Blue, which we saw on a lot of pedigrees. This is obviously a young picture of that buck. Out of the Blue is a Blue Sun over SDR Dina Bear. This is 4 straws, not 2, not 1, but 4 straws stored at Bonanza. So you're bidding on 4 straws for 1 money. Bill? Anything out of blue? I know you might not be real familiar with it. Taylor may be the best one.
Yeah, I've had some does
Okay.
that was either out of that or pretty darn close to it. You know, he was pretty far to the left. And this is one, you know, you have exclusive with blue, you have out of the blue. A couple of my favorite Blue Sun bucks or Blue Sun sons that are out there. I mean, there are others too, but yeah, I think he did a lot of stuff for the industry. I wish that there's a picture of him in his older years, because I don't believe this picture does him any justice.
No, definitely young buck there. So probably yearling. Taylor?
Yeah, I think this is a real underrated buck. I got some daughters out of him, and they were awesome. So whenever the opportunity came up at a sale to get some of his straws, I snatched them up. You know, whenever I pulled up and bought some of his daughters at Redbud Kiko's up in Illinois, they were on like 2 inches of grass. So I know they were pressured hard with parasites. I think Bruce, he was working a lot of double shifts, and you know, I think he was pretty much doing it by himself. And you know, he got, I guess, to the point kind of like where I'm at. Where, they don't have much time to be babying them or anything. And those out of the blue kids, you know, they thrived on it. I think one of these days somebody's going to recognize how good of a buck this buck is. I think they think it's a good buck, but I think eventually they'll say, "Oh, he was really underrated."
He don't look too underrated from what you've gotten in the sale out of him. So you definitely making a name for him. I mean, looking at the body and the build on what you got, it looks good. Lot 45. Lot 45 is another semen lot. That's 2 straws stored at Bonanza of GHK high voltage. High voltage is a generator, son, over a Lighton's Lady R06, which is a Waco 139 over a CCR Money Bag Doe, which is a Moneymaker over Teresa. I think this buck has some performance testing background on him and stuff. I've not had really anything out of him. JD?
Yeah, I had a high voltage daughter. She was same as you. You had one you called Crooked Horn. She was Crooked Horn. She finally took her to the market. I think she was 12 or 13. She was just done producing. Man, that doe was phenomenal, though. I can't remember her name. Crooked Horn's all I know, but I think Joseph Miles had the sister to her too, so it was out of that same high voltage stuff. If it survived that long on his farm, you know it's tough, and she was tough for me too. She lived till 12 or 13. Got the growth. Definitely got the growth there.
Bill?
Well, you talked about high voltage being generators, son. Ringleader is high voltage's son, and he did well. I know he was top 10, but I'm thinking he's in the top 3 in Maryland 2014. So again, Maryland test. I was in Kiko's, but I wasn't buck testing back then. But I've heard stories. You survive a Maryland test, that was something. So we've got high voltage. I think it could bring some performance to your herd if you're looking for it.
Definitely. Taylor?
Yeah, these are some straws I bought in order just to keep back. But I got off in kind of the wrong direction as far as parasites goes. Kind of bring that back. He's got a proven performance track record, and just a long record of it. A lot of top 10 kids. So yeah, I just kind of kept that back to keep my arsenal. So if I got into a fecal issue, I could bring him in.
All right. Lot 46. Lot 46 is RHK Strike Gold. This is 6 straws stored at Bonanza. Look back at the crosses he made with the RHK Gold. I think you can look here and see where some of them got their chest from. Definitely the coloring and marking that we talked about. He is a ECR Black Gold son over a Rojo Vasti, which is Rojo Grande over a Onyx Bear Doe. 6 straws here. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and look back through the catalog, you can see where he's used it in his production and how it's turned out. Taylor?
Yeah, I saw him down at Rocky Hills, and he was just a meat wagon, super stout buck. I've always liked him. He's made a lot of good kids in his day. I think these would be good straws to pick up. If you got some of these blue iron daughters that are in this sale, I think if you crossed it back the other way, put some stripe straws on these blue iron does, I think you'll have some really nice kids.
Bill?
I've never had any experience with the genetics on my farm, but seeing strike gold kids at different sales, and I knew this was Brian's kind of foundation buck, or it wouldn't be a foundation buck, but it would be a cornerstone buck for his farm. I mean, he thought highly of him, so no doubt that bring good things to your farm too.
Definitely. JD, anything? Oh, you're
No,
not
sir. I
looking.
think they covered it.
Yep. Thank you. All right, lot 47. Lot 47 is RHK Warhead straws. These are 10 straws stored at Bonanza. It performed well in 23 West Virginia buck test for getting a fourth place fecal. I watched this buck pretty close due to the bottom side. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Got that Zion, which goes back to Moose. And then you got the BHR Oreo, which I talked about, Dad's doe. And again, I think it was 12 o'clock, and she was 12 years old, and her udders was like a 3-year-old. It was just crazy. Her production and longevity. You got Warsaw on the top, which again bred out into Sonny Boy and Outlaw and performance there. This is 10 straws of RHK Warhead. Taylor?
Yeah, that Warsaw, really impressive performance buck right there. If you're wanting to bring back some of that vigorous, feral, old style Kiko, just grit, this would be a buck I would use. I wouldn't say he's like, if you're wanting that, you would use him, putting on meat. But if you're wanting that, good bags, good feet, just that feral, gritty Kiko added into your herd, I would use these straws.
And maternals. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
used some Sunny Boy myself, and I got a Warsaw straw. Just looking for exactly what you said, Taylor. Putting a little bit of that vigor back in there. Yeah, he's got a little bit of leg on him, but they're going to strive and live. JD, anything?
No, he covered exactly what I would have said. So
All right.
that's what I would expect out of them straws.
Lot 48. Lot 48 is Webb Hoosier Hammer straws. 2 straws stored at Bonanza. Reading the description of this buck, Pat Law and them produced a lot of stuff out of him that went to test. He started number 2, number 8, number 17 ranked bucks on the REA portion of the 2020 West Virginia test. I've seen a lot of Hoosier Hammer does. Take this picture when you're thinking about him in any context. They look really good. They perform really good. That's great pedigree. A Hammer son over Webb Ginger. I've had a Webb Ginger doe, Gabrielle. Matter of fact, I just sold a daughter out of Gabrielle, offspring of her and Bill's sale, and great production. She does really good. Great opportunity here, I think. Taylor?
Yeah, you mentioned that about the picture. I couldn't find a better picture of him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Hammer over Ginger. That Ginger, you hear a lot about her. Of course, everybody knows Hammer. Then, there's so much performance right there. Tested genetics. If somebody's, really after the buck test genetics and performance, I think these would be great straws.
Definitely. I know some people interested in them for sure because
Yeah,
of that fact.
honestly, I seen another picture of that, and I looked for it, and I could not find it. There is another one out there, and that buck doesn't look nothing like that. So that's I think that buck is honestly special, and I wish that picture would go away, and then we could find that other picture because I think it would really help
Right.
them straws because the stuff I've seen out of it's been super good, and I know, I mean, you got Hammer over growth, and then just me personally, I would buy these straws and I would stick them in some of them yearlings you got Man, I think you really, really do good with that.
Yep. So that's our last lot. I've enjoyed this. Taylor, I just want to say personally, it is an honor for you to let Top Livestock be a part of this. You have, when people hear dispersal, a lot of times it's like, oh boy, here we go. I want to tell everybody this is an opportunity. When I saw the catalog, it was, and I put it on Facebook on Top Livestock. You look at it, I said, wow. I mean, from top to bottom, this thing is stacked with great goats, great semen. You know, it saddens me that Taylor's getting out right now, but again, I just look forward to him coming back in and taking off from where he's left, because he's learned a lot. He's culled a lot. He's let them do it themselves. That's hard to buy stuff and watch it have to cull off, but you're getting his cream here. I mean, I just have to say it. JD, say anything about it?
No, you got all. I mean, you mentioned it. You got all the ingredients right here of what he worked for. He did all the legwork. So whoever buys these does, I mean, you're getting the end results, and you can see it. I mean, them are cookie cutter yearlings all together. From, both bucks. Them are from two different bucks you're getting cookie cutters from. So I'm super excited to watch this sell. I think I don't know, like you said, I mean, he's put together a heck of a group of goats. So I just hope everybody tunes in and watches this, because it's going to be exciting, honestly.
I think so. Bill?
Well, just to, almost echo what you're saying, meeting Taylor however many years ago, and he was asking all the right questions and actually taking notes, and he put the recipe together, and you see what he's got. And one thing we've not talked about this evening with his herd, this guy is a biosecurity freak. So you're going to get not only good genetics, you're going to get great goats, but know that these jokers are tested. And it's not just the goats that were offered in the sale. He disease tested his whole herd. And if there was anything that was even questionable, it would still say negative. But if it was above his scale, he didn't care what the doctor said. If it was above his scale, I promise you he'd shoot it in the head. So know that these goats they're disease free, as well as, the recipe for the right genetics put together. I mean, this is something special here.
Yep, for sure. Taylor, before I let you close, just an observation I have of you from the sales. This guy listens and studies constantly. You'll see him at a sale. You won't see him talking a lot. You won't see him doing a lot. He is studying and making smart decisions, and it shows here. So, Taylor, you close us.
I just really appreciate you guys coming on here and doing this, and it means a lot hearing that from you guys. And it's sad, to see all that work, it leaving, but hopefully it'll help somebody else, and I'll still be watching and stay involved, keeping up with it. I hope somebody else enjoys them like I have, and it's been a fun ride. Really appreciate it.
Taylor, thank you. Again, Friday night, 6 p.m. You can bid now if you want to. Set your backs bids now. Friday night, 6 o'clock we start. We go into extended bidding on Saturday at 6 o'clock. Last lot, get a bid within 5 minutes, we extend 5 minutes. Don't give out if you get tired, because this is going to be a battle. I mean, there's some good stuff in here, and people are going to want to beat the clock. And if you don't go to bed, set your max. Be happy with yourself, because Taylor's done the studying, he's done the putting it together. He's going to hand it off to you. Do good with it. You'll do good with it. I feel confident about this sale doing well. I really hope. And any new buyers, like we said before, this Kiko community, we'll get them to you somewhere. I mean, if you contact Taylor will contact one of us. We'll find somebody somehow to get you the goat. I don't want you to not bid on one of these goats because can't necessarily get your transportation settled out. So contact me, info@toplivestock.com. We'll do what we have to do to get you the goat, because we're going about all the Kiko sales, so we'll be there. Taylor, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yep.
Bill,
Thank you.
JD, you guys are great. Y'all
Yes,
have
sir.
a good evening.
Thank
Y'all
you.
have a good evening.
You too. We'll see you.
Thank y'all.
See you guys.
Good night.
Night.